What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike. Go ahead, Gate City.
What's going on, everybody? Steve Hyder, Gate City Sports Channel. Hey, we're glad to see everybody here tonight, guys. We're ready to talk some Eagles football.
Always, always. Like I said, if you saw the title of this, pretty much we're gonna get into like we always do. After 30 minutes, whatever the topic is that we want to talk about, we always go a different route depending on the chat. But we want to start this off with some more schedule talk and some more off-season moves. One of the big ones is reports came out today that we actually put an offer to Jadeveon Clowney. What do you think about that, Gate City?
Man, no kidding. Look, man, he's a guy that for some weird reason in his career, as talented as this kid is, and this kid, when you guys, when you judge defensive ends, I don't know if you guys have heard this said before, but you really look at the 10-yard split. The 10-yard split, not the 40 time, tells you just how explosive a defensive lineman is off the line of scrimmage. When you look at the measurables that matter for a defensive end, this kid has it. He's stout enough to play against the run. He's crazy athletic enough to really get a pass rush on a quarterback. But for some weird reason, man, when you go look at his production, whether it's through injury or what's going on with him, maybe he was just, teams can double you up, max protect, take you out of games. He just hasn't had the production you would think a guy of his caliber and his talent level would have. And but I got to be honest with you, man, as I look at the guys we have on the team, if you're telling me we can add Jadeveon and Clowney and we can get him at a cost on a 1-year deal, 2-year deal, whatever it'll be, for a reasonable price, I'll take it. I'll take it all day long, man.
Yeah, I mean, we all know the incident that happened last year. Again, in my Jadeveon Clowney video, I said, listen, do I think it was a cheap shot? Of course. But do I also agree the fact that football is a bang, bang game? It's a matter of seconds. It's a matter of inches. And, you're going to get cheap shots that you didn't mean to do just because of the way the game is played. Carson knows that. Again, people also are throwing out there that Everson Griffin's there, very talented player. He has a little bit problems up here. Who knows? But at the end of the day, I agree with your assessment. It's weird that he can't really find a home, and he has had injury problems. The one thing I want to say about him is, though, he does get doubled a lot. And with our D-line already pretty darn good, he could really maybe thrive in this system. But again, it's really dollars if how we can work something out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know I haven't heard any of the physical numbers yet that were offered. I mean, it's pretty early into what I've heard about it. I mean, just literally I want to say maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, I found out about it myself. I'm not really sure exactly what the numbers are that's been offered to Jadeveon Clowney. I've heard some people say that they expected it's definitely over $10 million. Some people said it's closer to probably 15. Look, this guy would definitely would help provide a pass rush. I'm not going to deny that. If things are worked out between him and Carson, I got no right to say anything. You know what I mean? That's a personal thing between him and Carson Wentz. Mm-hmm. If they squash that, they're over it. No point of us still, going on about it. I'm more mad at the league than I am Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah. So real quick, let's just get what's up. So what's going on to everybody in the chat? Brian Fuller, Fly Eagles TV, JLU, Devin Warwick, Joseph, Rock Lee, Jamal Marshall. If I missed you, sorry. Y'all came in quickly with these what's ups. But yeah, I kind of agree. If Carson's okay with it, then we as fans should be okay with it. It's as simple as that. But what would you think that Clowney would get paid north of 15? You think we would even go for north of 15?
Yeah, I could see us. I could see the Eagles going. I'm not saying significantly north of 15, but I could see them going probably as high as 17 if it's a 1-year deal. I don't think we can necessarily afford that on next year's cap number, but if it's a 1-year deal, I could see them going north of that. Now, do I think they should go north of that? No, not really, Mike. To be honest, I think. You know what I mean? Like there are other options out there that can, they're not going to be Jadeveon Clowney in the skill set, but they probably going to be just as productive as him. They can provide, they might be a little older. I mean, Jadeveon Clowney's still a young guy. He's like, 27? He'll be like 28, something like that. He's still a young guy. I mean, some of the other guys we were talking about a little more on that veteran side of the pass rusher. Not that Jadeveon Clowney's not a veteran, but certainly is much older in that progression. But I mean, look, Chris Long didn't come in here and have huge numbers. The dude was really effective.
Again, a lot of people want to talk about that year last year. He only played 11 games. Josh Sweat had 3 sacks or something along them lines. But again, it's how you impact the game. Are you getting double? So you're not getting a sack. Somebody else is getting the pressure. He's still getting quarterback hits. He's still, doing a lot of things when it comes. He had 4 forced fumbles, like 4 forced fumbles. Give us 4 extra.
Yeah. I think the only thing we have to be careful about with Jadeveon Clowney is that I think he's plenty physical enough to play the run, but I think his instincts take over sometimes and he pushes too far upfield and he can get caught on people sneaking around that back door on him.
Yeah.
He's got to understand when he has responsibilities for setting the edge, he can't, sometimes when something seems like it's too good to be true, it is. They're setting you up. So, that would be something I would worry about with him, but I don't have the same concerns with him like I do with Yannick, because, Yannick is a smaller guy. Yannick is a heck of a pass rusher. That's a kid that I would love to have added as well. I just can't see the numbers working out. But Yannick, he does give you a little concern that a bigger offensive line can get behind its pads and push him out of the way on a running game. I do think that it's a little harder to do that with Jadeveon Clowney. Not that Jadeveon Clowney is this, the Great Wall of China, but he's got a little bit more to him than Yannick does. I don't know, man. I get the feeling we're not done in free agency. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't go get another veteran corner, to be honest. I just don't, outside of Logan Ryan, I really haven't had a lot of chance to really look at the availability here and to see who could honestly come in and actually be effective in the role. So that's the issue when it comes to some of these guys right now. But I think the Eagles they're going to get down deep in that value bin now, because these guys, look, they've been free agents now for a while. So the prices should be really coming down on some of these guys.
Yep. Real quick, I forgot who asked the question, but yes, Carson did come out and say that he'll be okay with it. And again, I opened my Jadeveon Clowney video as we had off season already done. Check. Draft, check. UDFAs, check. Now we're on the second round of the offseason free agency, where whatever your price was a month ago, it had to come down. If you have a car for sale for $3,500 and in a month nobody's coming to buy that car, you're not going to sell it for $35. You got to come down to $25 or OBO.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you, Gate City. Be more careful. Gate City, do you think that 1-year deal we gave Alshon would work with it $9 million on the cap, but turn into 16?
Hang on. I think I'm missing the context of it. So we say the 1-year deal we gave Alshon would work where it was $9 million on the cap, but turned into 16. Are you talking about the way we structured in terms of incentive base or the guarantees? Because what's trapping us with Alshon is the fact that we guaranteed too much of the contract. That's the thing that trapped us with Alshon. Alshon, we guaranteed the contract, and we did it in 2 ways: by giving him real, actual guaranteed money, which isn't that bad. The guaranteed money, whatever. It's the way we structured the dead cap to guarantee his roster spot, not necessarily the money, that's trapped us with Alshon a little bit. And I honestly don't think we're trapped with Alshon. I just think that Howie's trying to do a Howie-like move and find a way of drawing this guy up to get something in return for him. That's my gut instinct when it comes to Alshon, guys, is that the Eagles want to get something in return for Alshon, because as much as we maybe have soured on Alshon, rightfully so, if he has said and done the things that he's accused of doing, and I'm not saying he did, because I don't know. I'm not made privileged to that stuff, guys. But if he has, you know what I mean? Like, it sucks, and it could be a situation like with Nelson, to where, hey, the kid, I'm not saying Nelson Aguilar doesn't have talent, but he was done in Philly, man. The mental anxiety of the situation clearly took over Nelson Aguilar. If this situation has gotten to a point to where Alshon is speaking out like this, I think we're reaching kind of the same thing, to where I think Alshon can still play, honestly. I still think he's a really good ex-receiver in this league, although he's been a little bit injury prone. Let's be real. Even in 2017, when he made spectacular play after spectacular play and helped us in that Super Bowl, he was banged up. 2018, he was banged up. 2019, he was banged up. So, it's getting tough, guys, when we get into messing around with some of these contracts. But I love the 1-year structure, because it's such little risk if it doesn't work out. There's just not a lot of risk on a 1-year deal. Like, what's the worst thing? You wasted 1 year? I mean, to me, if you get a guy like it, even Everson Griffin, yeah, we all know something ain't right up there. You get a guy like that on a 1-year deal, you know what I mean? You can part ways relatively easily.
Correct. James Hurley, real quick, he said, I think we give Trey Waynes a chance instead of signing another cornerback.
What do you mean? Trey Waynes is with the Bengals, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he signed with a team,
yeah.
And he is a cornerback, so I don't understand that.
Maybe he meant Sidney Jones.
Yeah. Cut Alshon. He's old. He can't run, and his window is closed. Yeah, but it's more along the money wise why we can't cut him. We can't do nothing with Alshon until June 1st. So June 1st we'll really be able to see if the first week or two in June 1st he's still on a team, he's going to be here, because June 1st is that time where you can really consider cutting him. You're still going to lose some money, but not as much if you do it today. But I see the Eagles keeping him, getting him healthy, playing him a little bit, having him contribute. Yeah. His trade value goes up because, one, he shows he can still play. Two, he's not hurt. Who wants to trade for a hurt person? And then also, if we can't trade him, he's much more easy to release in 21 than he is now.
Yeah, we would save a ton of money, guys, if we released him in 21 as opposed to 20. Now, if we could trade his contract, guys, I think we're going to do it if we can trade it. But we also might need to face the reality that it might not happen. Brad Wright. Pretty interesting point, man.
Yeah, he said Jordan and Bull fans forgave Rodman, and Rodman helped the Bulls win rings. Exactly. Bad boy Pistons, and Rodman was pooping all over Jordan in a minute. Then they came over and they loved Dennis Rodman when he was throwing up 20 rebounds for them. I guess we'll need Alshon to balance out those little speedster guys. Yeah, we're gonna need some. We're gonna need that true X guy.
And Jamal, I think Jamal. First off, I love the name Marshall because I come from Marshalls myself. I'm named Hyder. My stepfather, they're all Marshalls. Jamal, this is what I'll say about Alshon. We'll know everything about J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, in my opinion, according to the way that the Eagles handle Alshon Jeffrey. Because if you have confidence that J.J. is the guy, I don't think it's just let Alshon go. You already got your guy that can balance out. If you have no confidence in J.J., then I don't think you're letting Alshon go before you have to. I mean, that would be my personal opinion what would happen. Clowney is not needed. Takeem, I don't, you know how it goes, bro. I don't control the front office.
Yeah.
So,
and I won't say he's needed, but would he help? That's the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the whole Jason Peters things? Dre Young said, is JP coming back? How do you feel about the whole scenario with him, keeping his
I don't think he's coming back, guys. Guys, it's listen, to begin with, you can't waste 2 years of a left tackle's contract. Here's a rookie contract. You just can't do that. If Jason Peters was coming back as your third swing tackle, which would be honestly that would be a shame and a waste of what's left of the man's talent, or if he was willing to play left guard, I would love to have this man back. But the rumor is the guy wants over $10 million. Not only did you draft a tackle in the first round, but you traded up to do that. I just don't think you can recover from that. Look, if JP wants to come back here and play left guard or play the third swing tackle position, you ain't going to find a better guy to do that role. You're not. Of course you'd want him back. If he's coming back to try to be the starting left tackle again at $10 million a season, at 38 years old, I can't see it, guys. It's not that I don't love the guy. He's one of my favorite Eagles of all time. One of those things that hurts when you're trying to get rid of players, and especially guys that you're a huge fan of. You know what I mean? Never easy to part with those guys. Personally, guys, I have a hard time blaming the Eagles on the Brian Dawkins situation, because if I was running the Eagles front office when it came to Brian Dawkins, dude, I still have his jersey. I still wear his jersey. He'd still be playing for the Eagles right now if it was up to me. I just, JP's one of those guys I think sometimes we get, what I'm saying? You're so stuck in what he was able to do in his career here in Philadelphia. It's just hard to part ways with some guys.
Yeah.
And he's one of those people that makes it difficult to part with.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Like I said, the only way I really could see him coming back is if he took a super team friendly deal, pretty much not make no money, do it for the game, do it for the Eagles. That's the only way I see him coming back. And again, we need to know what Andre Dillard is made of. We moved up in the first round to get him. We got to know what this guy's made of. He protects Carson Wentz's blind side. We need to know.
I just saw Takeem's comment.
Yeah, he's about intern coach. Antonio Holmes, what's going on, my guy? I don't want him to make a roster. I don't want him to take a roster spot from another position. But who do we have as backup? I think he's Jason Peters. I think he's talking about.
Oh, do you mean is our swing tackle right now?
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
If you look at swing tackles, we're in the market right now. We're in the market right now to find somebody. You're going to want a veteran guy that can come in and do that. Right now, you got a bunch of unproven. You can look at Pryor and say that Pryor has the physical makeup to be a swing tackle, but why mess with a good thing? Pryor's playing guard really well. I would leave him there as your guard, as your backup guard. Not to mention, the injury that was suffered to Brandon Brooks, he might have to start the year at right guard anyways for a game or two. We don't know yet. Mm-hmm. I think you have to go find a veteran presence to be your swing guard because you got guys like the kid we drafted. I can't say his name, Prince something. That kid, when you watch his film, man, if it wasn't for injuries, this kid would have been drafted a lot higher. His film is really good, guys. We got the kid that we drafted. I can't remember. It's been so long. We were so excited about the receivers, man, that the offensive linemen, they're slipping my mind now. This is how excited we were about the receivers. But we got another kid that we came in. It's going to be kind of a guard center kind of combo guy. So we've added some younger guys, but we don't have that veteran presence yet. And I think that's what the Eagles are going to go do at some point. They will go get a veteran presence to come in here. Because you can't, saying as much as I like the guys we have on the roster, if something happened I think if Lane Johnson went down, I trust Pryor to be able to play right tackle. I think we'd be okay. But would you really want Matt Pryor playing your left side, man? Yeah, I'd be a little skeptical with that one, too. I think he could definitely play the right side, though.
Yeah. This comment real quick. King posted, because of COVID, I think the Eagles are going to start this year playing guys who were on the team last year. Eagles will start Djax, JJ, and Ward. If JJ doesn't pan out, they'll keep Alshon the rest of 2020. It would make sense, depending on how limited OTAs is for the Eagles and for the whole NFL, actually, who knows if we even play all 17 or 16 games, but 17 weeks. We might have a shortened schedule. These rookies are going to have a lot harder time learning the playbook, learning all this stuff. J.D. Arcega-Whiteside learning stuff too with the whole impact that COVID's having. So it would be smart to get the guys who've been here while, much reps in the beginning, a lot of reps.
Yeah, King Poe, I love the rationalization for why you have it there the way you do. I might disagree with you, but I love you rationalized it. I still think that the Eagles are probably going to try to get Rager in very, very early. And get him ready to play. But I love the way you rationalized it, which is even if they're not the guys that end this season, just judging from everything that's happening and the reduced workouts these players are going to have, it would make sense to keep the guys who have somewhat knowledge of the playbook. I guess the question is, though, Doug's still your play caller, but is the playbook going to change a little bit with all these new pieces coming in as part of the coaching staff? That's what would be interesting to me. You got a new wide receiver coach. You got a new guy coming in here to help you design and run, wide receiver routes. I'm wondering if that maybe gives some of these other guys like a chance here.
Yeah, I'm with that. It's going to be really interesting to see how Doug Peterson, after what he had to call last year, having to be 12-man personnel heavy, having to do a lot of underneath stuff. I want to see how he constructs this playbook when it comes to how many vertical routes we're going to run, who he's going to send vertical, what he's going to do, the interchangeable pieces with Rager, Goodwin, Watkins, Hightower, reps, snaps, all that stuff. I can't wait to see how he puts that together.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely like the way that was set up to like, hey, because of what's going on, you might take the guys that kind of know the offense and kind of roll with them until these other guys get caught up to speed.
Yeah.
Why are people down on Dillard? He held his own against some great pass rushers last year when he played left tackle. Right tackle was a different story. Be more careful. Hard to say, man. I think sometimes it's what you did the last time you're on the field that people remember. Mm-hmm. What people remember was him being a little iffy on playing right tackle, making some statements he probably should have never said, and then having a poor performance. I think all the things he did at left tackle have been forgotten. And I also think when you get some of these analysts who are throwing up the stats saying that he didn't play that well. They keep forgetting that includes that game where he played right tackle, which clearly skewed all the stats they keep throwing up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
But, you can't talk sense to some people, guys. Come on, be more careful. You know that. You can't talk sense to some of these guys, man. They go out there and they look for things that support the point they're making, but they never consider the full context of what's going on.
Yeah, and be more careful. I want to elaborate on that. Like I said, I've been a guy saying this forever. I love Jason Peters, no doubt about it, but I want to see what Andre Dillard can do. And when I say that, people say the same thing you just said. They say they're not big on Andre Dillard. I don't really see nothing that makes me think he can't do the job. He held his own against Khalil Mack. He held his own against a lot of good pass rushers. Yes, he is not versatile enough to play right tackle. Like Gates said, it skewed his he was bad on the right side. But again, hopefully he has a long, fulfilling career on the left side, and that's all we need to worry about. The left side, not the right side. Oh yeah, that comment real quick. I do believe he'd be a better backup quarterback. Khalil Tate, they signed him at wide receiver. He's very athletic. I just don't know with the receiver room being as loaded as it is. I feel bad, man. I like the kid a lot.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Do you guys think Jim Schwartz has a better scheme with the defense being upgraded? Go ahead, Gate City.
No. Chicken Man. No, I'll give you my perspective on it. I think the Eagles took the position of getting the players to fit the scheme, then the scheme to fit around the players. That's the way I look at it, man.
I think the Eagles go 11-5 this year, which now is going to translate us into the schedule talk. Let's talk some schedule. Gate City, I know you said in your video you don't like to do predictions, and I agree with it because, early predictions, we don't know how everything's going to shake out. Plus, a week one injury can change your outlook on all teams. Like, look, for instance, the Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to be some type of Super Bowl contender favorites, just got to be simple. Patrick Mahomes goes down week 1 or 2. Do we still feel the same way?
No, not at all.
Exactly. So,
of course. Yeah, not at all. Yeah.
But I will say what you said in your video, and I agree. I've been saying once we knew the home teams and away teams, I said tough, but I still expect double-digit wins. And if we can get double-digit wins, I feel good about where we're at because the Cowboys have a hard schedule too. They have a big pack of like 5 to 6 games where who knows what can happen. But we have.
I would also warn people: be careful of when people rank the schedules because they're going off of last year's records.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? A last place team plays a last place schedule. You know what I mean? Like there's some advantages. So if you're really improving your football team and you got a last place schedule you're playing, by the time you get late into a season and you've picked up momentum and confidence, that could be a completely different team than it was the year prior. So I don't, like I said, guys, I don't think that our schedule is the 8th easiest, man. I just think that that's people looking at last year, not paying attention to everything that's happened since then. I think we got a couple of games on there that they're going to be surprisingly challenging. Guys, I'll tell you right now, I'm not sleeping on the Redskins' defensive front. That defensive front is going to be the truth.
It is.
Their secondary, I'm telling you, their secondary is very suspect. That defensive front is the truth. I don't know how much I trust their quarterback play there, but I like the fact they went out there, they got a kid they envisioned in the McCaffrey role. I think that was a smart move by them. I think the NFC East in general is going to be better. I think it's going to be better. I don't think that it's going to be this pushover that it was last year with Washington and New York.
I agree. And Jamal Marshall, real quick, listen, at the end of the day, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside is going to be able to understand the playbook better after what he did last year. And there's no way you can have a worse year than his first year. But here's another thing. I don't want him to just have a little bit better than 10 catches, 160-some yards, and a touchdown. He has to show signs, or we really got to start thinking, what is our move with him? Again, a lot of people saying release him now. I ain't never in my whole life heard of a second-round player being released after a rookie year because it's just a rookie year. I'm not going to hold my breath, but he needs to show improvements. If he doesn't show no improvements, we have to consider some type of move.
Yeah. Easy money. It's people are ranking it. They ranked us the like 8th easiest schedule. Like,
Who said that?
it's the national publications, guys. ESPN and them. They ranked us having the 8th easiest schedule.
Seriously?
Yeah. It's not my opinion on it. That's what they said. I'm arguing the opposite, that actually our schedule is much tougher than that. I don't think we have a top 10. I don't think our schedule is the top 10 toughest, but it's a hell of a lot harder than like bottom 25, 24. Like,
Yeah, I want to just say more about that. Again, we're getting criticized for playing the Redskins twice, the Giants twice, and the Cowboys twice, who all had
exactly losing records, really.
losing records. But
exactly. Mm-hmm.
Again, division opponents aside, the Saints, the Niners, the Ravens, the Packers, all these are playoff teams,
Yep.
And the teams that were bad, like the Bengals, they got better. Now they're going to have AJ Green back, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon, Joe Burrows. The Cardinals, bad. They got D-Hop now to go with Kyler Murray and all that stuff. So even the bad teams that were playing got a little bit better. I think it's going to be a tough schedule, but battle proven in the playoffs we will be once we're there. And we're definitely making the playoffs with them adding an extra team up in there. Come on now.
Exactly. Hey, Miguel, I think you're referring to Prince Amukamara, right? Yeah, look, there was a time Prince Amukamara was one of the best corners in the league. He was definitely top 10, 12-ish. He's much older now, but he's definitely a veteran presence that could come in here and at the very minimum could at least help Sidney Jones gain some confidence and helping maybe with his technique a little bit more with working with Manuel, things like that. I mean, I'm not opposed to that move.
Yeah. And real quick, Kevin Green said, "Where do you put Roby Coleman?" He's a slot guy. He's never been out.
He's going to play nickel.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be the nickel corner.
Nickel will play nickel. Exactly.
Dang, Brad, you got me by a couple years, buddy.
Where?
I definitely remember that defense too, but I was much younger.
Ooh, junior in high school in 91, and I was depending what year 90 was, I either a brand new baby or still in my mom's stomach.
I was young. I was like 8, 9-ish.
Let's see. Yeah, this is a good one. How do you feel about Corey Clement returning? I know you said prior that you thought the Eagles were going to go get a vet, and you weren't expecting that to be the vet that we get. How do you feel about him returning, though?
I like the kid a lot. Listen, guys, when I first started this channel, I think that was the first one of my videos that really got attention when I was doing like my 53-man roster projections. I kept telling people I thought Corey Clement was going to make this roster just based off of what he could do on special teams, being that kind of third, fourth back that could come in and get meaningful reps. He's been injured a lot, though. I just, you know what I mean? Like, at some point, you got to stay on the field, you got to stay healthy, and you got to prove it. And I feel bad for the kid because I felt like this was a kid back in 2017 that really proved it. And now he's faced adversity in 2018 and 2019 again with injuries. So he's definitely not the veteran presence I was referring to. It's not where I wanted the Eagles to go. I thought we needed much more of a short yardage back, a guy with a lot more playing experience. But look, man, I mean, he's got some use. He's got some, you know what I mean? Like, I just hope the Eagles aren't done with that position. I think you gotta bring in another guy, man. Ooh, Brian, you definitely got me beat, bro.
Yeah, man, my man. Hey, appreciate it. Still going strong, I bet. Like that though. Dang, 31.
Yeah.
If we give up 300 yards a game this year, fire Jim ASAP. Yeah, man, this defense is built differently now. Like I said, when you have a guy like Darius Slay, Chase, Follow, Shadow, however you want to call it, it's going to automatically upgrade the play of the second DB on your team. Because again, Devontae Maddox and Sidney Jones were sometimes finding themselves matched up with Devontae Adams, with the number ones, the Amari Coopers, who else did we play that we got really pooped on? Devontae Parker for the Dolphins, It wasn't him. It was, what's it called?
Devontae Parker was the hardest. That was the hardest one. I mean, if you could have just stopped him on 1 or 2 plays, you win the game.
Yeah. How about the fourth?
Simply put, you just needed to stop him on 1 or 2 plays and you win that game.
Yep. Yeah. And I can still remember the 4th down touchdown. It was like a 50-yard touchdown on 4th down or something, 40-yard touchdown, like ridiculous.
There was one, I can't remember. It was the 4th down play where I broke down like it was the craziest thing I've ever seen, because I've never seen a cornerback have such beautiful body positioning on the ball, but just completely misplay the ball in the air the way that Darby did. I'd never seen anything like that before in my life.
Yeah.
It was the craziest thing ever. He had beautiful body positioning on that football, misplayed it in the air completely. Parker goes up, gets it away from him, touchdown. I was like, dude, they gained so much confidence off of that one play, man.
Just kept
I feel
going.
like if Darby made that play, I felt like we were going to win that game.
Heck
There's
yeah.
no way the Dolphins would have had the confidence to come back after that point. It was like a complete shot in the arm.
Yeah, it was the turning point. But what's your gut feeling on the outcome of Trevor Williams? Here's the thing: he's been injury prone, and the future contract we gave him is pretty much prove that you can stay healthy and contribute. You'll get a shot. If he doesn't be able to prove that in OTAs, I don't know how he's going to be able to with this whole COVID-19 thing. So it's going to be interesting to see how his future pans out.
I think he's here to push, but you got to remember he's here on a futures contract, so they're not tied to this guy in any way, guys. If he comes in and he's the best corner, second best corner, I doubt he's going to be the best with play here, but if he proves to be your second best, third best corner on this team, he's going to make the football team. That's my opinion. If he shows that. Now, I don't know what to expect from Trevor Williams because he didn't play last year. 2018 season wasn't that great, but he suffered an injury. But he was really good in 2017. He was really, really good in 2017. So he's a hard one to judge, guys, in my opinion.
Okay, now we got everybody saying this. So we got Eagles for life. Chicken Man is an 85 baby in the house. Paul 44 said, "I am no longer the oldest in the
chat."
Brian came in and said he was 31 and 91, and Paul 44 was like, "I'm on it. I'm on it." Let's see. We got Dan Slover 147 says, "I'm a 94 baby. My brother was born in 94, so you're the same age as my little brother. Well, he's not so little anymore. 92. Yep. Same guy, 92. That's pretty much it. Who said they're in 91? I was the kingpin of a multi-million-dollar cocaine business in Miami. Me and my homie Lance. That's crazy. I gotta take this call real quick. Go ahead with this.
I got you, man. All right, guys. So I'm 83. I was born in 83. I see all y'all kind of typing in there. All right, let me go up here to Miguel's comment. I just thought, man, sorry guys, the chat's jumping back and forth. I'd like us to intimate the 2015 Broncos, Chris Harris Jr., Bradley Roby, and Aqib Talib. It's hard, but we can get there. I see what you're saying. You're talking about coverage skills. Miguel, I think the problem we have here is when you look at Jim Schwartz's system, he doesn't value corner play the same way that other defensive coordinators do. And I'll give you the token kind of contrast here. If you look at the way that Bill Belichick values coverage corners compared to Jim Schwartz, it's just two different schemes here. Patricia coming from that coaching tree, he's a guy that values coverage a little more. So it's just a different philosophy with him, but I certainly get where you're going with that, man. All right, guys, let me jump back down to the chat a little bit. All right, the Bull. Sorry, bro. I saw your comment, but it keeps jumping on me. All right, the Bull Philly. What package plays will we see this year from our wide receivers? A lot of slants, quick curls. What do you guys think? The Bull Philly. It's going to depend on the exact alignment you're looking at here. If you're talking your X receiver, then of course you're going to see a lot of slants. You'll see a lot of comebacks, hitches, curls, all those kind of working the middle and the sideline, contested short window area kind of receptions and challenging routes. You'll see all that. If you're talking more of your flanker role, you're going to see a little more vertical element there, but you'll see your flankers he'll do some in routes, some out routes, stuff like that as well. The Bull Philly, I do have a thing up on the Facebook page that Mike and I kind of run together. I just put a thing up there asking people, what video would you like me to break down next? Start talking about the topics. And that is one of the topics, like breaking down 3 route designs that I think the Eagles could run in 2020 and have great success with the type of players we have at the wide receiver position. So that is up there, guys. If you guys want to go over to the Python Audible, PythonAudible, the Python Audible. That is the co-hosted Facebook page that Mike and I kind of run. So we're still working some guys. Like we want to reconceptualize the idea of what we're doing there. We want to make it more valuable for you guys as we bring you guys into that. But we'll let you guys know when we work out some of the the wrinkles with how we want to structure that platform. But we might do maybe some one-on-one live feed chat stuff. We're going to figure some stuff out there.
Plus, tomorrow I will be doing a quick live stream with the contest winner. I did a contest a couple videos ago, actually a little bit longer ago now, and it was you got to put hashtag Eagles. I went and I shook up a hat and I pulled a name out, and Nick Bray won. I just contacted him yesterday. We haven't got to it, but I'm going to do more contests where if you guys want to enter and the winner can come on a live stream and say their piece on the Philadelphia Eagles. I just got to touch this. Brian Fuller said he was 31 in 1991, and he said my last girlfriend was born in 83. My man is doing big things over there. And Mike B said, I've been an Eagles fan longer than most of you guys been alive. Hey, that's the truth, though. That's when you know you're real. If you've been Eagles your whole life and listen, the crazy thing is, I feel bad for a lot of Eagle fans who, might have went away, before 17 because it was a long wait, 52 years of the Super Bowl for us to get that ring.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so JTRE 1212. Sorry, I don't no clue how to say that. Djax, Rager, JJ, Goodwin, if he's healthy and in camp. G Ward, Hightower, Alshon on the pup, and Quez to the practice squad. Possibly. My gut feeling from watching film is, and look, sometimes it doesn't matter who the better player is, guys. Sometimes it just matters who the coaching staff is higher on. My gut instinct after watching film, Quez Watkins is the much better route runner right now than Hightower is. But I don't know. Maybe the coaching staff sees Hightower's like Hightower. He does kind of flash on film with the vertical. He definitely is more of a contested catch guy compared to Quez Watkins. So maybe they value that a little more than Quez Watkins' ability to separate with speed on those slant routes and things like that. Although I saw a couple plays where Quez got up. He got up after the ball a couple times, but not to the same way that Hightower was, not to the same frequency, I should say, that Hightower was doing it. I think that's a legitimate option there, but I got to tell you guys, I think the coaching staff is going to be surprised if we can season. That's the problem. If we get a legitimate offseason, guys, I think Quez Watkins is going to turn heads.
Yeah. Antonio Holmes said Quez will not last through waivers, no practice squad. Yeah, because remember, when you put a guy on a practice squad, you give chances for teams to take a player. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
I like Goodwin, but I'll be honest with you guys. My personal opinion on Goodwin is this: often injured, has big play capability, but I'm gonna be real with you. I think that he's only here if Hightower or Quez Watkins turns out to be much more of a developmental piece than we anticipated. Then I think you just have a natural guy to move in there. I think his other way to the rosters to beat out Greg Ward Jr. I just think Greg Ward Jr., even though he doesn't have that kind of vertical speed, man, he's a good third down target. He gets open. He gets separation. He doesn't have to have a lot of speed to gain the separation. He's just really good in his routes. He's really good at his breaks. He's good at the top of that route stem and gaining separation from from defensive backs.
Merv DeKenzo said, if you rocked out with the Birds in the late 80s and early 90s, that bowl was for you. You rode through the rough years. Yeah, man. I can't say I was there. Like I said, born 91. I played sports my whole life early. Flag football, basketball. I've been an Eagle fan probably since about 6, 7 years old. Yeah. I have Eagle uniforms, Eagle pictures with Eagle shirts before that. But how much football do you really watch at 4 or 5? But 7, 8. Remember playing. I'm never loving it. I started right before the years of Donovan McNabb. I was a big Donovan McNabb guy myself.
Well, I mean, we had good teams during that span of years. The problem is that as good as our defenses were, as much as Buddy Ryan fit the culture of the city, he never won a playoff game. That was the real problem. Kotite had one good year as the coach. Then things kind of went. You know what? I was alive during that time frame, but I'll admit I was more of a early '90s into the mid '90s is when I really kind of came up. That's when I really, that's when I really like. I watched it when I was really little, but that's when I really started to kind of understand the game more. I remember the first big free agent signings that I witnessed as an Eagles fan was Troy Vincent, and then what was his name? Irvin Fryer. Those were the two. Those were the two big ones when I was young.
Real quick, Victory said, "What's good, Philly Mike? I'm going to have to disagree. I think Hightower is the better route runner."
Sorry, I missed it. What? Say what?
I got to, but look, yep. Dan Silver 147. I have the same mug. Yeah, you got to have one. It's like the standard Eagles mug. You just got to have it. But he said he thinks that Hightower is a better route runner than Quez.
Victory, no, bro. That's people look, I know where you're getting that from. That's people who are not watching film and keep saying that. On film, it's obvious that Hightower's not as good a route runner. He's not. Quez Watkins is the better route runner. Quez Watkins ran a little more diverse of a route tree as well, and I've heard it said the opposite way by people that are clearly not watching film. It's obvious when you watch the film. And a lot of people will sit there and try to argue that, well, Quez Watkins didn't play, great competition. That's why his film looks better. Well, the thing is, the American had better pass defenses than what people think. When you go look at where they ranked, they had some pretty good pass defenses out there in the American.
Snapback Jug said, "What's the limit of roster spots now?" It's 55, man. So we went from a 53-man roster to a 55-man roster. And if you ask me, I think you got to look at the running back position and the wide receiver position to add the extra piece to. I think, I'm hoping we can keep 7 receivers. Definitely 6, but I would like to keep 7.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to keep 7, but I would love to.
Yeah, that's my whole thing. I don't think they will. I'm thinking 6 is what they'll do, but I would love for them to keep 7 because it kind of eliminates the whole having to let someone go. Gay City, how about when we got Ricky Waters?
Yeah, I remember the for who for what speech after the Tampa Bay game. I actually went to the mini camp that year and the training camp, and I remember him pulling up in that Suburban and training camp. But I never really got a chance to talk to him or get his autograph. I was really young back then, guys.
Hey, real quick, Brandon Taylor said Hightower is my homeboy's cousin. He's gonna be nice. Hey, that's what's up, though. It's cool when you know somebody who either you know somebody or you know somebody who knows or related or all that, and you see them get to that level. It's crazy. To just know that you knew the person and he was able to get through, playing ball in high school, college, and it makes the NFL roster. That's a cool feeling. I would presume.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's definitely cool. I'm definitely high on Hightower. He's just not as polished as a route runner. But like I said, it doesn't matter who the better route runner is if the coaching staff is higher on the other guy for reasons that don't pertain to route running.
Yeah. Earl Thomas' wife. Yeah. Earl, how about the Earl Thomas thing? How about his wife holding him at gunpoint? How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, that's one way of resolving it.
Yeah. Carol Poole, dedicated, loyal. I think Hightower has more stamina to last through more snaps than some other wide receivers. Interesting take to say he has more stamina.
I think they both need to put weight on, a little muscle at the NFL level. I think they're both a little undersized.
About dang time.
Yo, that, what's going on, man?
Yo, you just love making these late entrances now.
Hey, listen, man, it's been crazy, man. With Ramadan going on, I got a lot going on. My business is taking off. It's just a whole lot going on, man. A whole lot of blessings, man. So
that's what's
I
up.
apologize. I'm supposed to be here at 6, but I'm here now. Let's get it on.
What's good, bro?
Real quick. Richie Rich 22 said, instead of Clowney, we should get Everson Griffin to play that Chris Long role. Listen, I said in my last 2 videos, I talked about him too. I think Everson Griffin gives you Clowney kind of production on a cheaper note. I am concerned about the mindset of a guy like him, but if you get him on that 1 year deal, like Gay said, he said earlier, 1 year deals, I mean, there's not much that can go wrong in that situation. And I also like how you brought up Chris Long's role. People see Chris Long and say he wasn't that productive, but when he was, again, his rotational role on the team, he wasn't a stat stuffer, but what he did do was contribute. He was an impact player. When he was on the field, he contributed in ways that really helped his team that didn't show up in paper on the stat line. So I hear you with that.
Why is it not letting me turn this all the way down?
Theodore Neal. I'm not really a big prediction guy when it comes to the records this early in the season, in the offseason, because look, they're not even done signing free agents yet, guys. I think given the direction that our schedule is and the strength of that schedule, if you can get to double-digit wins against that schedule, I think you're going to be set up pretty well. I will say this. I hate Dallas. I can't stand them. They got the easier path. They do. They really do have the easier path, man.
Yeah.
They're not, to my knowledge, they're not playing New Orleans. They're not playing Green Bay. They do got Minnesota, though, right? I think they got Minnesota.
Yes.
They got Minnesota. What did they luck up with in the South? Didn't they get, like, Atlanta?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, to me, the big thing that comes down to me is who do you trust when the season matters? Who is going to be able to handle the pressure of the moment? Hey, I think the Eagles have illustrated they're the team for that. I think it'll be a team race again.
Real quick, Brian Fuller, appreciate the super chat, super sticker. And I got to say this last comment. You said your 4-year-old woke up, man. The comments you've been leaving me from the fact that you were 31 and 91, your last girlfriend was born in 83, and you got a 4-year-old, more power to you. Keep going strong, man. Age ain't nothing but a number. You got a 4-year-old. He's just all over the place, but I like that. Real quick, for Philly Fresh, since he was a little bit late, I want your opinion on this. We talked about the Jadeveon Clowney thing, and we started getting into the schedule. So give me your Jadeveon Clowney opinion, and also you can contribute after that to how do you feel about our schedule and kind of what you think is going on there.
Well, what the Jadeveon Clowney thing is, we all know his price tag is going down. To me personally, I feel as though it was his agent saying getting people to get some teams involved so that people be more interested in him. My thing with Jadeveon Clowney, if you're going to sign him, I would sign him for no more than $15 million, right? But it'd be like $10 million or $12 million when incentives, because as much as this dude is a beast on the field, it doesn't show in the numbers. The numbers are not there. Now, not saying he's not productive. He's probably getting double teamed. But let's not forget that he had one of the best defensive ends on the other side of him in Texas, and the numbers still wasn't there. You know what I mean? So if I'm going to sign this guy, it got to be some incentives. You have to have a certain amount. You got to have a certain amount of sacks, a certain amount of pressures, forced fumbles. I think he did have four forced fumbles last year, so he does get to the ball. But only 3 sacks. You got to do more than that, and I'm not paying him more than $15 million.
I'm with it, and your overlook or view on the schedule.
I mean, it's kind of hard. My prediction was 12-4. I know Gate City said in his video, he said he don't do predictions. I understand why. Anything can happen. You know what I mean? But at the same time, in my video, I did predict 12-4. I just think it's going to be. I think the 49ers are going to be. They're going to have to play a first place schedule coming off a Super Bowl loss. You know what I mean? that's kind of what we did. We was in a 4th place schedule in 2017, and we played. Let's keep it real. We played a lot of bums, and we racked up on them bums. See what I'm saying? And when it came crunch time, we did what we had to do. Now with this team, it's different. They racked up with a lot of bums, but they didn't beat a team and hoist that trophy. So I think they take a step back. I think New Orleans takes a step back because I just think a lot of people disagree with me on this. I just think Drew Brees is not the Drew Brees he was 4 or 5 years ago. I think his arm talent is still a little bit there, but his arm strength is not there. I think they're going to start using Taysom Hill way more because that's why they paid him. I don't understand why they paid him all that money. Another team that Dallas, I feel as though Dallas got a lot of shiny toys and all that's cool, but their defense is horrible. And they still didn't get a center. So a lot of teams that people think that we're going to lose to, I think that we can beat. I don't see anybody on our schedule that should be like, even Baltimore. Baltimore is probably the scariest team because of Lamar Jackson. We don't have a bona fide linebacker, middle linebacker, but we have intricate pieces that can chase them around, that can play in a box, like the dude from Colorado, like Kayvon Wallace, stuff like that. So I feel as though we can also be done, but they're probably the scariest team on our schedule. So that's why I just feel as though if Carson stays healthy, he can take out most of these teams, man.
Hey, I agree with that. Yeah, and when you look at it, I wanted to say this. The New Orleans Saints did draft Ruiz, the center, didn't they?
No, I was talking about Dallas with the center.
Oh, all right, yeah, all right.
Yeah, I was talking about. The only thing I said about New Orleans, I just feel as though Drew Brees' arm strength is not there anymore. I feel as though the call. I'm back.
Yeah, you're back.
I'm back.
Mir Slap, what is going on? Yeah, you're back. Now you're going. Now you're back.
You playing peekaboo, bro?
Now you're going. But anyways, Mir Slat, the guy from the Vikings, I believe he will fill the Chris Long presence more than Clowney. Hey, Everson Griffin, I think you can get him cheaper. I think he's
I'm back.
Yeah, I can see.
Bashir Randall came out and said, hot take, hot take, hot take. We have a top 5 defense, in my opinion.
Definitely a hot take.
That's up
definitely
there.
A hot take. Yeah, that's up there.
I don't really think so. I said that in a couple of my videos. I said it can be a top 5 if Jim Schwartz does what he's supposed to do. You know what I mean? Anybody that's seen the videos, I keep saying it. I feel as though we can have a top 5 defense if Jim Schwartz has Slay follow the best receiver on the field. If Jim Schwartz doesn't play that sticks defense, if Jim Schwartz plays bump and run coverage, if Jim Schwartz doesn't play favorites just because you like a guy and you stick him out there when you're getting barbecue chicken. If he does these things, I think he has the integral parts and the kind of players that he wants. This is the thing. And I said this, a couple people commented on and thought that I was wrong when I said this. I said, I feel as though Jim Schwartz has more of his liking pieces and more weapons than Carson Wentz has. You know what I mean? So it's really nothing that Jim can complain about. I understand you don't have a Mike linebacker, but he never played that anyway. That's not really his thing. He likes guys like Kayvon Wallace, like
Peekaboo.
Hey, it's all right, man. Look, there was one time me and Mike started. I swear to God, man, it must have gone down like 6 times in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Y'all can hear me, man.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can't hear y'all. This is getting on. Everybody trying to call me right now, man. I'm on my business iPad. Everybody trying to call me right now. Man. What was I saying? Oh yeah, he got dudes like Kayvon Wallace, Parks, dudes like that can play safety and play in the box.
Yeah, I think we have talent on this team. Don't get me wrong. And I think we could definitely be a top 12 defense. Top 5, look, I mean, we don't know until the season starts. I do have some concerns with, hey, we added some guys in the room at the linebacker position. But what do we really know about how they're going to play in the NFL yet? I got faith in Sidney Jones. You guys know I was one of the first people to really watch film of Sidney Jones and break down some of the deeper analytics on him and say, you put this kid in man press, this kid plays really well. Yep. I can't tell you, though, that I'm sitting here, if you were like, yo, put your house up, put 100K on it, that he could even finish top 50. Hell no, I'm not doing that. Like, no.
Right.
But, I definitely think the pieces are there. There's some talent on this team. If we can generate a pass rush this year to where we just really start dominating offensive lines to where, the guys just they gotta start rolling the pocket to get away from our pressure. I think we could be that good. We could possibly be a top 5 defense, but it is a lot of projection for that. You get what I'm saying? We have to really project a lot for that.
You're right, and also what I said in one of my videos, the 2 people that has to step up the most on the defense is Sidney Jones and Derek Barnett. Derek Barnett this year coming, or whenever they play, that next year, whenever they play, he has to act like a 14th overall pick. You know what I mean? Like I understand he really only had one healthy year, his rookie year, and he made some good plays and all that kind of stuff. But you're gonna have to show me why we picked you at 14, especially coming off of about to go into trying to get paid, because you're making Howie look bad, man. I know a lot of people on Howie top. A lot of people is not. I don't know if y'all talked about the quarterback situation again, but it's a couple things I wanted to hit on that probably later. But how in this city, when you listen to the radio, people calling up the radio station, man, people are not feeling Howie at all, man. And it's crazy that, I don't mean to go off track real fast, but I did some digging. A lot of people is getting on Howie top, but praising this dude John Lynch. I understand that the team that he put, but he was picking at the bottom. I mean, the top 5 every year. You know what I mean? Everybody on the defensive line is first round draft picks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bill Belichick just gave you Garoppolo, who I feel as though ain't good anyway. It's just like, it's really no comparison. When you're picking at 21 and you're picking at 17 and 14, and it's different than picking at the top 5 every year because your team stinks. So when you go, no, for real, when you got all that talent, of course you're gonna, you got the parts. He did bring in some good parts, but I just feel as though, come on, man, they everybody's really praising to everybody that calls the radio station. Oh, we need a guy like John Lynch, a football guy. I just think how he get too much hell in the city, man.
Yeah, real quick, shout out to Lawrence James for the super chat. Appreciate you, my guy. And what do you call it? Jarek Reed said, as a Cowboy fan, I always watch your vids, Mike. Good sports talk. Respect. I appreciate it. At the end of the day, our teams hate each other, but I'm always willing to talk some good Eagles, Cowboys, as long as we keep it about football. But you know what I'm saying? When it comes to being on the gridiron, we don't like each other, but it's all love. Talking about football, though. But I also saw one other thing I wanted to say on here.
That running back question is a good one.
Which one? What time? Who?
What time? Who?
Theodore Neal.
Theodore Neal. All right, let's go ahead. You could take that one.
Man, that's a good question. Because it's a lot of them, man. I know we just brought in Corey Clement. I don't think that he was the piece that we needed. I understand we needed a veteran piece. We needed a thumper. He's not him. I like Corey Clement a lot. Super Bowl hero. I just think his best years are behind him, not in front of him. So if it was up to me, it would be Corey Clement, probably the guy out. Killings is into me. Of course, Miles. Of course, Boston Scott, Killings, and Holyfield. I think Corey Clement would be the odd man out. That's what I would do. I just don't think that this organization is going to do that.
Yeah.
Bro, all right, hang on, guys. All right, I see someone here commenting. If you think Joe Looney deserves to be in the same conversation as Travis Frederick, come on, bro. You trash with your analysis. You're straight trash. And Dallas don't even agree with your ass. Dallas don't even agree with you. There's a reason why they drafted a center. Get out of here with that trash analysis. Because I tell you right now, no Cowboy fan in their right mind, I know you're not a Cowboy fan, because we deal with Cowboy fans all the time. They're not going to sit here and try to tell us they think Joe Looney's going to block Fletcher Cox or Javon Hargraves. Get out of here with that crap. You're a non-football knowing self, bro. You trash.
Hey, Kyle, I made a video before this live stream, and it was pretty much, there's a guy named Dan Cilio who reported on Twitter. He said that the Eagles had made an offer to Jadeveon Clowney. No numbers were involved yet, but we actually offered him, because a couple days ago, Bleeding Green Nation, CBS, a couple of reports said that we are interested in Jadeveon Clowney. Now, he said we offered a deal. We don't know what the deal is. We don't know what's going on. Plus, he's been wrong in the past. This dude said a lot of crazy stuff. He said AJ Green coming to Philly, OBJ, AB, Tom Brady. Like, he's off the rocker a little bit, so it's nothing to jump on. But Jadeveon Clowney, if you seriously don't know who he is, he's a defensive end for the Houston Texans, and then he went to the Seattle Seahawks. But crazy.
Oh, you mean old sucker puncher?
Yeah. Reese Scott, what's going on, my guy? 215. He said we just need to sign a cornerback like Ryan Logan. I ain't mad at that.
Reese, we were just talking about that not long ago, bro.
Huh?
Oh, y'all talked about him?
Why?
Yeah. Ryan, we're talking about, do you feel the Eagles should go out there and get a veteran? Damn, Mike. Do you think the Eagles should go?
He said he'd be back.
Oh, okay. I was like, damn, he just disappeared on us. Do you think the Eagles should go out there and get a veteran corner to work with Sidney Jones for this season?
You asking me?
Yeah.
No, because he's already out. Well, he was getting help before the coronavirus situation, but he's been out there getting help, and with the new cornerback coach, I can't remember his name. Darn. Well, with the new cornerback coach, I feel as though that's really all the help he needed. Corey Utland was horrible, man, and it just shows he did not develop not one cornerback. We understand Mills was a 7th round pick, but he didn't develop any cornerbacks. Like Sidney Jones should have been, when healthy, should have been was supposed to be the first or second cornerback to come off the board, but he got hurt. See what I'm saying? That's why he dropped to the 2nd round. But that's the guy that your coach is supposed to be able to develop, for him to be a substantial, or somebody close to substantial, can be a second guy. And I feel as though the guy that we got now at cornerback coach, I feel as though he can do that. And plus, we got a veteran inside. That's the unknown, isn't it? Right? Is what can Mark Emmanuel do? There's his name. Yeah, Mark Emmanuel.
Yeah. I think he's going to do a lot to this DB room. I think he's a player coach. He brings a lot of fire and all that good stuff. Bashir said, it's funny, the same Cowboy fans who said they're not delusional say the most dumbest things.
Yeah. I mean, I can hit my boy Cowboys X Factor up right now and ask him what do you think about Joe Looney taking over for Travis Frederick. Guarantee you they want Travis Frederick back.
Yeah, look, let's just say this real quick. Travis Frederick was a Pro Bowl center, right? So you lose a Pro Bowl center. If you really have faith in whoever this Looney guy is, because I don't even know who he is, you don't draft
Joe Looney. Joe Looney's been around the league for a while. I know Joe Looney really well. That's how I know he's not that good. He played at Wake Forest. I'm in Greensboro. I told him Winston-Salem where Wake Forest is at, guys.
Did he play for Pittsburgh?
Huh?
Did he play for Pittsburgh?
Joe Looney? He might have at some point.
Yeah, I think he played for Pittsburgh. I know the name.
Real quick,
He's been in the league for a while.
Look, Hawk215 said, if the Cowgirls win the Super Bowl, I told my wife I'm burning my stepkids. They're all Cowboy fans, and they drive me crazy with the CD Lamb stuff.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about CD Lamb, that situation, man? is CeeDee Lamb going to? It's a reason that he dropped to 17. Is he going to be able to get separation at the next
That's
level?
what I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Oh, you ain't talking to me.
No,
you're good, bro. You're good. Go.
I agree.
No, I'm asking y'all a question. That's why I'm like.
Oh, well, here's my thing. Yeah, I don't think he can separate as much as other people.
Huh?
No, go ahead.
No, I was saying it's the reason that he dropped to 17. Do y'all think that he's going to be able to get separation at the next level? Do you think that's one of the reasons why he dropped? Because he's not a guy with speed. I mean, he runs good routes, but the separation really isn't there.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's an argument to be said that he's going to struggle to separate at the next level. But to be honest, I thought his route running was better than people thought. I did. I'm going to be real. Nothing. No, I don't want to judge this kid because he's a Dallas Cowboy now. Judging his film from college, he played in a conference where you don't play a lot of man press. Okay, you just don't see a lot of man press there. Right. You don't get a lot of people coming up on you playing man, closing those windows in. So you're giving more room to operate. You know what I mean? He's not a guy that's going to stack you necessarily as a corner and get over top of you. You know what I mean? So he got a lot of room to operate underneath on those underneath routes.
Right.
And I don't know he's going to get that in the NFL.
And that's a good point. My thing is, what you playing in a Pac-12? Well, not the Pac-12. What is he in? They in a Pac-12, right?
Yeah, no, they're not in the Pac-12. They're in the Oklahoma. Yeah, Oklahoma's in the Big.
Oh, the Big 12. That's what I meant. What you play in the Big 12, it's not really like you see that many good corners. You know what I mean? I mean, you got some of them, but they're really in the SEC and stuff like that. So for you not to get separation with below average corners, and then you got to go to the next level. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all he's a bust, but maybe it's a reason when you look at tape and when
he got strong hands.
Look at that tape,
he got strong hands. He has strong hands. I'm not going to take that away from the kid.
Yeah, I can't take that away from him.
Yeah,
he got them.
Hey, Tavares 6. What's good, bro? I go through Charlotte all the time, man. Hang on, we had some other stuff in here, guys. I'm sorry. Trying to find it.
Answer this question that's on the screen real quick.
Yo, Gate City, what was your reaction of the Rieger pick? You go back and watch it. Mike kept trying to tell me the Eagles drafted him, and then Philly Fresh was trying to jump in and be like, "Yo, they drafted him," and I didn't believe him. I was honestly in disbelief. I didn't believe anything they were saying. I think there was a point where Mike was like, "Yo, would I lie to you?" And I was like, "Yeah, you would in this situation."
Yeah, but Gay City also elaborate on the fact that picking him at 21, it was good because of ... Go ahead, fill them blanks.
Oh, CeeDee Lamb?
No, Rieger. Not only your reaction, but
yeah, Ray. So like the reason I was high on Rieger King Poe is because Rager's ability, like his route running ability at the top of his stems on vertical routes. Man, there's only been a few guys I've ever really watched film on it and like had to go back and watch like, whoa, how did he just gain that kind of separation? Like literally go back, slow down the frame and watch how in the heck I went to say the other word, but I don't want to demonetize Mike's channel on him. How in the heck he was gaining the separation he was getting. There were a couple times where he hit him with a rocker step on a deep vertical route to where I was like, whoa, like I was sitting there trying to count the steps, man. He was really gaining separation. I'm gonna be honest with you. If he had even decent quarterback play, that kid's numbers would have been phenomenal because he was getting open and the quarterback just wasn't seeing the field. He wasn't anticipating the route well.
I mean, you look at his sophomore year, he did his thing, man.
Yeah.
What he had, over 1,000 yards, like 8 touchdowns. He did his thing. His quarterback just was horrible.
Yeah.
Like that, bad. I'm talking about bad, man.
Let me just say this though about CeeDee Lamb to finish the CeeDee Lamb talk because I see the chat going crazy about that. All right, look, we don't know how he's going to separate in the NFL. Like Gate City said, once the ball's in his hand, he runs like Anquan Bolden, but the snatch catches out the air reminds me of Hopkins. I'm not saying he's going to have a career like them, but that's what he reminds me of. And let's just say this. On Oklahoma, they didn't have that great of defenses he played against, cornerbacks, all that stuff. but he did do a lot. He did get double teamed a lot and was able to beat double teams. But look, if he goes to a team that he has to be the number one receiver and he gets double teamed NFL wise, he might not be able to survive. But he went to a team who had Randall Cobb with 800 yards, Michael Gallup with over 1,000, Amari Cooper with over 1,000. So with Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup there, Randall Cobb is gone now. I mean, having CeeDee Lamb in an offense where he's don't have to be the number one is going to make him play better. If he was with a team like the Cardinals, say the Cardinals didn't get Hopkins and they got CeeDee Lamb, and it's just old Fitz and whoever else is over there, and they can zero in on Lamb. He's on a team where
they do got Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I'm saying older, but he's going to play the slot. That's what he does now as his older age.
Right.
I'm saying if you're on a team where CeeDee Lamb is the focal point, you can NFL defenses probably shut him down. And I hope he's not that good because he's on the Cowboys. But the fact that he's a third option could eventually be scary because he was a number one option in college and still got it done. And now he might be the third-ish option on the Cowboys. Who can evolve number one?
Are they going to put him in the slot?
I don't know.
Hey, JJ Trilla, I'm just going to end you right now. Oh, you got to remember Gallup, and you got to remember Zeke. Hey, they were in the game when we took y'all out the playoffs, weren't they? We was missing our whole entire starting offense.
Well, no,
with your crap, bro. You're trash, bro. We could beat y'all with a bunch of high school football players. You're trash.
I mean, we almost did. We almost did. We beat them with a bunch of Walmart and gas station workers last year.
Yo, let me just say this though. Hey, I can say this though. Amari Cooper wasn't there because he got benched.
No, he got
exactly
benched that one play.
I know. Anyways, look.
I really think he took himself out the game. That's one of the reasons why I didn't want Amari Cooper. You know, I think he has immaculate talent, but it's something wrong with his psyche, yo. It's like when it's time to go, it's like that dude folds up. If you look at his numbers at home and his numbers away, it's night and day, man. Like to the fullest. Like,
yo, real quick, I want to finish this though. Listen, I don't like the Cowboys. It is what it is. I am going to speak real football though. At the end of the day, they got a great receiving core. It's going to be one of the best. Amari Cooper is a guy who's very talented, and at home games comes and performs. On the road, he does not play. He does not play up to par. He's a guy who again, he takes himself out of games. He's not up there with his mindset. He ain't a dog when it comes to heart. But again, CeeDee Lamb as an option that's not number one could possibly be a problem. So we're gonna have to see how it plays out. I do like
it can be. I was just referring the fact that he slipped at 17. I wasn't saying that he's not a good fit there. I'm just saying, like, because a lot of people was like, why we take Rieger? Why we ain't go up and get CeeDee Lamb? You know what I mean? And I felt as though, first of all, who was you going to trade up with? Atlanta? Atlanta wasn't going to do nothing. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, and let me say this though. Let me say this though. Dallas Cowboys had with their 3 wide receivers last year, 2 1,000 plus wide receivers and a 800 plus receiver, and they went 8-8. So at the end of the day, CeeDee Lamb is better than Randall Cobb. But how much more receiving yards are you going to get? I mean, Dak Prescott threw for an abundance of yards. He's not going to because CeeDee Lamb's there, he's going to gain a whole other 1,000. So at the end of the day, you had one of the best offenses in the league, and it amounted to 8-8. So that's why I'm not worried at that sense. But real talk, Perez said, I made an NFC East draft grade video today, and I wasn't that impressed with CeeDee Lamb. This is a Buccaneers fan who's saying,
wait. So he a Buccaneers fan, a Lakers fan, a Mets fan, and I don't know what that is under there. Is that the Knights? That's a hockey team?
I don't know.
All over the place.
I can't see it either.
All over the place, man.
So, like I said, we're going to get back to the Eagles talking, but at the end of the day, it should be good competition in the NFC East. And hold up, we got a super chat. Let's see
what man.
Yeah, Jay Trilla coming. Here we go. Y'all just like talking about one game where Dak was hurt. Y'all bums got watched 37-10 stop. We still had our wide receiver running open last game. Yeah, he was running open, but it don't matter how open you are. You don't get a half a touchdown for an open receiver. Listen,
Hey, JJ, you better tell your receivers to wipe the popcorn off their fingers when they try to catch the ball. Then butter your fingers. Because you can say what you want to, but you can say Dak was hurt, but that's not what y'all was claiming. And secondly, we beat you with the Walmart greeter, the gas station attendant, and the old gym school teacher. Get out of here with that crap, bro. Y'all got walked. Y'all got walked out of the playoffs with nothing but a beat up, banged up football team.
Yo, look.
It's gonna happen to you again, bro. We've seen how this plays out. We've already watched this story unfold. When it matters, you will crumble and we'll take the division.
Look, Jay Triller, let me just say this. I appreciate the super chat, my guy. And I know I see you on a lot of Eagle things talking. You talk your stuff. I respect that. But you need your team to back it up. And at the end of the day, you guys were in a position with a healthy team. Okay, Dak's shoulder was hurt, but you suited up, you play. I mean, Josh McCown played with, he tore his, whatever he tore in the playoff game, he played. It is what it is. So.
Exactly. Hey, was he hurt when he played the Redskins the next week? Because someone brought that up too.
Correct. The same hurt shoulder he threw for like 350 against the Redskins, and y'all beat him like 40-13 or something. I don't know the exact score. At the end of the day, stats don't get you W's, and it's going to be a fun year when we talk about the NFC East. Let's just leave it at that.
At the end of the day, Dallas sucks.
As Philly 500 will say, Dallas stinks. All right, let's get back to some good stuff, though.
Hey, we going to talk about that, bro? Are we going to talk about Philly Mike hacking Philly 500's channel?
Yeah, right?
His live stream.
Yo, that was what the heck was that?
Let me say my piece, right? Look, so I'm doing the live stream, right? I'm doing the live stream, and we're going to get to the comments. My bad, guys, for like totally skipping the comments, but it's hard when you got all that trash talking coming. But anyways, I'm in there. So when Philly 500 must have ended his live stream because of that hack or whatever happened, I ain't do it. I'm not even computer smart enough to do something like that. Anyways, some people came in and was like, yo, you're on Philly 500 stream. I'm like, are they saying that I'm talking so loud that you can hear me? Like, I thought they were making jokes about me. I was just so confused. So I kept hearing a couple people say it, blah, blah, blah. So I'm trying to grasp it. I'm like, what's going on? And then somebody tells me that they actually were hearing me on his thing. And I said, wow, that's crazy. I don't know how YouTube could let that happen. He's all the way on the West Coast and blah, blah, blah. I'm using StreamYard. He's using YouTube. But anyways, so I rewatched his stream. It's like 11 minutes because he cut it off. And my God, it was hilarious. I died when he said, he was like, who's that voice in the background? He was like, oh, that's Willie McGinnis. And he turned the TV off. I lost it.
I'm just waiting for you to tell me who you paid for you to do that.
I don't know. Come on now. Come on now.
Hey, Steve, he give me everything I don't want to hear. Just tell me who you paid. Yeah.
Bro, if I paid somebody that did a bad job because after he got out and went back in, I wasn't there no more. So I should fire him if anything, right?
That's all it took was 11 minutes of fame, man.
Bro.
Yo,
that was crazy. He was telling me about it earlier. I was like, I didn't hear that.
You know what Philly 500 did, though? He left that video on, and he put it as, like, Joe Boo's conspiracy thing, and it has him, like, as he's writing down stuff. Yo, Philly 500, that dude. But listen, most likely we all gonna link up eventually. But he's a good dude. He texted me after, and I was just like, I went into his chat then and gave him a couple super chats like, bro, I don't know what happened. He's a good dude. Much love to Philly 500.
He's a good dude. I talked to him after that too, man. He's definitely a good dude.
All right, let's break the ice with this. Joshua.
Hey, Russell Branham, you're right. He doesn't, but he got that Super Bowl ring.
What happened?
Wait, what happened?
He said, Russell Branham said, in 4 seasons, Wentz has 0 playoff wins, 1 total completion in the postseason, 48 fumbles, and cannot stay healthy. Why would anyone be surprised that the Eagles would draft a new quarterback? And I said, well, you know what? Some of that what you're saying is true, but he's got a Super Bowl ring.
And he contributed to getting us there. But real quick, so if it was your decision, if you were on the organization team of the Philadelphia Eagles, would you take Clowney or Griffin?
Who you asking?
What's the money though? What's the money situation?
Yeah, I need to know. I need to know scenarios. I can't.
All right, let's just say I'm gonna make one up. Clowney at 15 million, Griffin at 11 million.
That's too much for Griffin.
2 months? All right, 7 then. Like, what do you want me to say? I don't know.
I'm just giving you my opinion. You didn't have to change it.
Oh, all right, then we'll keep it at 11.
And you said Clowney at what?
Well, all right, like compare their talents, because like, at the end of the day, we know what Clowney can do, but like you said, look at his stats. He had 3 sacks last year. He's never got over 10 sacks in his career, and he was the first overall pick. So, like, just put everything in perspective as who would you rather us target?
Is he disruptive? That's the question.
Who?
We're talking about Clowney, right?
Yeah.
I'm
hold on.
Adding on to what you're saying. Is he disruptive? Because to me, he is. You know what I mean? I told y'all about 45 minutes ago, if I've been on here that long, but I told y'all not too long ago that I need incentives. For me to sign Clowney, it has to be incentives. You have to fill a quota for you to get your full check. That's just my personal opinion. If the organization was smart, that any organization, whoever's going, because this guy's not going to be sitting, he's not going to be sitting at home with eating cheese doodles watching the games next year. So whoever signs this dude, you gotta put in the contract incentives. So I would have to go with Clowney, but I need incentives.
Yeah, look, real quick. Everson Griffin has been productive his whole career.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Clowney's the younger guy. I think Clowney's got more years left in the tank right now. But we're only talking about a 1-year stopgap measure.
Right.
So that's the other thing to consider here is that who do you guys feel would be better this year, this season? Would you think Clowney or you know what I'm saying, Griffin would be the better player just this season?
Hey, Kara, happy Mother's Day too, man.
That's tomorrow. She don't get early ones.
But what? I'm not going to see her tomorrow. She's not going to see me tomorrow, right?
You're going to put a video out. She'll comment on it. Then you
go out on Mother's Day, man.
That's what you got to do so you can wish happy Mother's Day to your viewers.
No. Say no, I might put one out. But anyway, happy Mother's Day. Like I was saying, don't tell me when to tell and how to tell Kara. Happy Mother's Day. Shout out to you.
All right, JJ Trillo, we'll get to you since you're another super chat. Wentz in the playoffs, 3 passing yards and a fumble. True. Dak Prescott's still the second highest paid quarterback on Dallas roster. That's what I'm gonna say. Actually, it might be the third. If we're gonna get real. No, they let Rush go.
She's showing love back. That's what's up, though. Yeah, happy Mother's Day. Let me just be nice and say, too, even though she's been on a real mean streak with me, so I'll give her that, though. Let's go.
Yeah, she should be.
Come on now. I work tomorrow, so I'm celebrating today. So fresh is right, Mike. Oh, here we go.
Happy Mother's Day to you once again.
Yeah, Kara.
Definitely, yeah. Enjoy it.
It's really nothing to discuss when we talking about Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott. I mean, Dak Prescott played about, I want to say, 8 more games and has 1 more touchdown than Carson Wentz. Like, come on, man. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about right now? Like, the talent is there. Do you think everybody that's a Dallas Cowboys fan in his draw or whatever the case may be, do you think happy Mother's Day to they try and kill him. No. All right, so listen, do you think JJ Trill, do you think that Dak Prescott could have did what Carson Wentz did last year? Like, be truthful. Do you think he could have did that?
Yeah, but you're right. Let's just eliminate the Cowboys from this video because we're just doing too much. We're giving them too much, and let's talk about the NFC East division champion.
Right. Hey guys, in the comment section, y'all that are in here, do us a favor. Let us know your opinion here. Would you guys go? We're talking a 1 year sample size, guys. We're not talking about next year, the following year. If you got 1 year with a player, do you guys want Yannick Ngakoue? Do you want Jadeveon Clowney? Or would you guys want Everson Griffin?
Come on now.
You got no certainty for what's going to happen in 2021. They may or may not be back for 2021. So you only get 1 year. Where y'all going?
But everybody in the chat, I do want you to remember to get
it's all going to be Yannick.
But you got to get stuff up to get Yannick.
Though. That's the thing.
Hey, D'Angelo, appreciate the super chat, bro. I gave you a wrench too, buddy. I forgot to tell you, I gave you a wrench. We should get Clowney for 1 year just because of D.
Just because of D? What do you mean?
I'm assuming he means like the defense.
The defense, yeah.
Like the D line.
Well,
like,
why else would we get him? He don't play offense.
Well, I think what he's talking about is like adding pressure on the pressure rate for the D line.
I'm gonna run through these real quick. All right, we got Yannick, Griffin, Yannick, none, Yannick, Griffin, Yannick. Who said none? Hawk 215.
Hey, Hawk, I want to know why you say none. Now,
he's not an Eagles fan. He's not an Eagles fan.
Yannick.
He's not Griffin. An Eagles fan. He's a Seahawks fan.
Oh.
Of course, he's going to say he doesn't want us to get anyone else.
That's why you should never put Yannick in it, because you knew Yannick was going to be that he's going to get that. My guy, Philly Take with RB is in the building. What's going
good,
on,
man?
What's wrong with you? Hey, that's why I wanted everybody to understand that we got to give up probably a first-round draft pick to get the guy. Y'all still want Yannick.
Yeah, but see, again, Gate City's question was on a 1 year deal, blah, blah, blah. That's it. He didn't really go into the length and explain that we got to give up much more for that, which you should automatically know that we have to. He's not a free agent.
Well, that's the point of saying the 1 year is we don't know if we could retain, you know what I'm saying? We don't know that we'd be able to keep his services. That's the issue. Because let's be real. I've heard projections that we're going to be $50 million over the cap next year. I don't put any stock or any weight in that, guys.
Yo, you got to
yeah. Who knows? Say what now?
The new super chat. I put it up for you to read.
Angelo, I'm sorry, buddy. As we stand right now, possibly top 5 this year. Oh, I got you. Top 5 D got you this year.
Hey, D'Angelo Adams, appreciate you giving Gate City the super chat. And I agree, though. Listen, what I said in my videos, listen, Clowney and Griffin, they kind of give similar production. It is what it is. But if you add one of these guys, right now we're showing interest, the team. So I can't talk about Everson Griffin really because the Eagles haven't shown interest in him as much as they showed Clowney. But if you get Clowney on a 1 year deal, the way they're going to rotate Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett, and Jadeveon Clowney, I think it could put this defense over the top, especially the D line. You already have Fletcher Cox and Hargrave going to get so much pressure up front. These guys on the ends, rotating, healthy. A guy like Brandon Graham who can use some snaps off because he's a little bit older. Who knows what it could be? We're going to give it to him one more time. Jay Trilla's back. So y'all happy y'all gave a guy who's been hurt every year, 2015, $100 million guaranteed. Stop that. That's why you projected to be $50 million over the cap. Listen, all sports, you can only talk about sports for the last thing you saw, right? We can't project anything because it could be wrong, but we can speak facts that happened. And the fact was the Philadelphia Eagles paid Carson Wentz, got our guy, got to the playoffs. You didn't pay Dak. Don't got your guy unless you think Andy Dalton is. And
I think it would have been a much better option if we paid Zeke $100 million than Amari $100 million. If they ran out of money to pay our quarterback, much better option. Come on, man.
Word.
Like, what is he even talking about? He knows his organization is.
Man, you paid your running back. You paid your running back, and you paid your receiver $200 million. Man, come back when Jerry learns how to play the cap.
Gonna end up doing just how if they're gonna keep Dak, they're going to end up doing how the Rams did. Man, they did everything backwards. You don't pay your running back before you pay your quarterback and a receiver. Come on, that don't even make no sense. Come on, man, your organization is messed up.
All right, real quick. We got 164 people in total because again, this is streamed on 2 channels, the Philly Talk Podcast and Gate City Sports Channel. So whoever's in each respected people's thing, can't see the other ones, but we got 162 people in here total. If you can do us a favor and just smash that like button for whoever's channel you're watching on, just click the X, hit the like button, come back and chat it up with us. And what we're going to say is, if you haven't checked out the other person's channel, go ahead and check it out. You got Philly Fresh, you got Gate City Sports Channel, and you got the Philly Talk Podcast. We do Eagle stuff all day. I will be doing some Sixer stuff soon. If the Sixers ever come back to life, the NBA by itself, and we go from there. But let's get to some of these comments real quick.
Hey, Taekwon, he pulled up a super chat, man. Taekwon.
Go ahead.
Oh, the J.J. Arcega-Whiteside interview. I made a video on this, man. Look, there's some things that I'm okay with you saying, just not publicly. If you want to say it to your teammates, if you want to say it to the front office, if you want to talk internally, that's one thing. But there's some things that you really should never put out there in public circles, because I'm sure the way that things are being interpreted is not the way that JJ meant them to be said. I'm pretty sure people are taking liberties with his words, but he left the low-hanging fruit for those people to pick. I do think that the Eagles need to get someone from within the front office that works with marketing and things like that to work with these young men as, like, you know, basically either helping them find publicists of their own or giving them guidance on how to handle certain things. Because I don't know, maybe he thought he would be safe since it was on a Spanish, radio show. Hey, man, this is the age of access to information. It don't matter if you do it anywhere in the world, it can be accessed. And they got it, and they ran.
You're absolutely right. But I kind of think he was kind of AWOL with that interview. I don't know if he really was coached up before that interview. And to tell you the truth, I just think he was lying. I'm just going to tell you, you couldn't walk to the bathroom. Like, you wasn't on an injury report like that. To say you can't walk to the bathroom sometimes, like, what are you saying? Like, if you wanna say, all right, you had injuries, you had lower extremity injuries, all right, cool. But we seen you out on that field, and for you to say that just because you only had 10 catches, nah, man, I ain't feeling that.
Yeah.
For my opinion on this whole J.J. Arcega-Whiteside interview, I think he made himself look a little bit worse. Look, we understood you had a very, very bad rookie season, but take it on the chin, learn football, get better, do what you got to do. Hopefully the Eagles put you in a better position next year with Aaron Moorhead instead of Carson Walsh. But to come out there and make excuses and show yourself like that, it's not the way to go. Like Gate City said, we live in a social media world where, again, players in the past didn't have to deal with this, but everything you do and say will get criticized and scrutinized, not just by the professional interviewers, but by the whole world because of social media. So you got to hold yourself a different way. And again, it was a horrible season. Do what you got to do to get better, but don't come out here and say this, that, and the third, because it just makes you look like, just do what you got to do at the end of the day.
Exactly. Hey, Philly Fan D, I would love to do that, man, but I don't know if they're going to have, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't know if they're going to have fan participation by week 1. If they do, I can try to get with the boys and we can try to figure something out. I know Brunson lives pretty close to DC too, so I don't know, maybe we can figure out some kind of like fan community here kind of thing. Get together, tailgate thing.
Me personally, I don't feel it. If it is going to be fans at all, I definitely don't think it's going to be the first game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it will be either.
I think that's out. Like, they got it. It's some places, I don't know if it's DC, but it's some places that's not even they're cutting off all major things until 2022. So who knows, man? I mean, not 2020, 2021. My bad. They're cutting off all major events. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Real quick, I wanted to say this. Philly Take with RB and Giovanni. I gave you guys wrenches. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Snapback Jug says, how many trick plays will Hurts score this year? Bold prediction. Go ahead. Throw a number out there. How many trick touchdowns do you think he scores, either in the Wildcat or just mixing up with Carson, catching, running, throwing?
I think a safe number is, I'd say a safe number is 3.
Do they got to be trick plays? Can they be regular plays also?
Well, at the end of the day, I think any play with him on the field.
Just anything he does, right? Any touchdown he does, right?
Yeah, let's just say that.
5 to 7. I think they're really going because of where they took this kid. I feel as though they're really going to use him. They're going to try to use him as much as they can, especially in the red zone. You know what I mean? Especially since we don't have a Nelson Aguilar. Maybe JJ Arthur-Whiteside can be that, but we don't have a guy. We got speed guys, but we don't have a possession receiver in the red zone. Somebody that's going to go up and snatch the ball out the air. See what I'm saying? So I feel as though probably 5 to 7.
Yeah. Hey, Jalen, good point, man. Good point. It's true.
Where's that?
736.
We got a bunch of answers to this Jalen Hurts question though. So we'll get to that. Yeah, and he was right. This one you're talking about, right?
Yep.
Yeah, JJ Arthur-Whiteside has to understand that less is more when you're speaking to the media.
Yeah,
100%. That's 100%. Speak in generalities. Exactly.
You don't go out there just pouring your heart out. You know, you might say something that you can't take back.
Yeah, because like Gate City said, you don't talk to the media because the media is not there for you. They're there to advance their own career. They want you to say something dumb so their story could be more juicy. Their story could get pushed out there. And they say, this is the person, man or woman, that got JJ Arthur-Whiteside to say this. And they don't give a dang about you.
Exactly.
But Bashir, I hit you with that wrench too, but go ahead.
Harlem Cowboys, what's up, man?
So,
guys, some of you guys that are like, I'll say what I said 3. I could see situations in the red zone where the Eagles might use Jalen Hurts as a runner. I could see that. That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe I could see 3 or less, because I could see an opportunity for him using his ability to really see the field well as a runner to get some opportunities there. What do you guys think about that?
It also might be some plays to where though he don't score, but he pitches back to a Miles Sanders or something like that. He act like he's going to run, and he does the pitch back. So he can be used in that aspect too. So just because he might not score in the red zone, I feel as though he's going to be utilized once again because we don't have a possession receiver until Nelson Aguilar comes back. If JJ Arthur-Whiteside is not up for the job.
Mm-hmm. Marcus DJF, bro. We appreciate you being here, buddy.
Yo, real quick. I tried to give Bashir a wrench, and I think I deleted his comment. All right, yeah, you're back. My bad, Bashir. You got the wrench now, but I deleted your comment on accident. But man, JJ Triller continues to do super chats to get in here. I just got to say this real quick. At the end of the day, look, I appreciate the super chats. I ain't gonna lie, I appreciate it. You know, you donate to the channel. But when I do my giveaway, which is very soon, it's gonna be a Jalen Reagor jersey. So if you want to be in for the Jalen Reagor because you're donating, I'll sign up. But anyways, yeah, Wentz and Dak are close in numbers of pass touchdowns, but y'all don't want to talk about Dak's 21 rushing touchdowns. On top of that, let's talk who is more durable. It's true. But let's not.
But you're talking about durability. You're saying they're close in numbers, but Wentz played 8 less games. So how close are the numbers really?
Yeah, if you give Carson 8 more games, he's past you. Also, with your durable quarterback, you didn't make the playoffs this last year. And I also got to say this though, off GP. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I couldn't sit in a opposite team, an enemy's team's live stream for more than 5 minutes. I couldn't just sit in there and listen to
because you know why? Because he's an undercover fan. But see, here's the thing. He probably grew up a Dallas Cowboys fan. You know what I mean? His family told him 25 years ago, all in the history books, how great they was. And it's stuck in his mind. I'm a Dallas fan. I'm a Dallas fan. Now you see Philly, man. You see the Eagles just want to chip. You see us doing our thing. And he trying to get the license plate to that bandwagon. But instead of just coming up like a man and saying, hey, y'all, hey, Mike, hey, Steve, hey, Philly Fresh, can I hop aboard? No, what you do is you try to grind us up just to see what we talking about. That's what he does, man. You know what I mean? So he just going the wrong way about it. He really a fan, though. Who wouldn't be?
Exactly. Hey, D'Angelo Adams, appreciate the super chat, buddy. They will use him. They will use him for a lot of RPO Wentz didn't do. I don't think they're going to use it. Like, you're not going to pull Wentz off the field too often, man, because it'll kill you. You know what I mean? Like, you need Wentz is really good in the red zone, guys. It's what makes Wentz one of those top tier quarterbacks. You don't want to move him out of the red zone too often. But I do think you're on to something. But I don't think it's going to be under center on the RPO. I think what it's going to be is like a jet motion to Hurts, with Hurts having an option to run or pass. Not your traditional RPO with the running back. It'll be like an option type thing where he's taking it on a jet motion type ordeal with an option to throw because he's got the arm and he can roll the pocket and do it. Hang on, what I missed, bro?
No, everybody just saying a lot of money just
yeah.
But look, hey, D'Angelo Adams, I agree with you on that note. But also, listen, Cowboy fans, at the end of the day, this is what I'm going to say. I don't like the Cowboys because I'm an Eagle fan, but I do think it's a two-team race. The Cowboys and Eagles will fight for the division. Of course, I got us winning, but it should be interesting. And I like talking to other fans about football. If we can keep it football, it's all good and all love. But at the end of the day, EAGLES Eagles, that's what it is over here. You already know. So that's what you're going to get.
I ain't got no problem with him. Y'all know how I feel. I'm with all the smoke. I ain't got no problem with him ever commenting and none of that kind of stuff. You know, you're gonna get it back full force. But my thing is, I just want you to know the truth. I don't want you just out here. All you ever say is Carson Wentz is hurt. Carson Wentz is hurt. But the numbers are still better than your guys. This man went to the playoffs twice. I'm gonna say twice. Because he was 5-7 when he got hurt not last year, but the year before last, when Nick Foles took over. So I ain't gonna give him that playoff run. But let's not forget when he tore his ACL and left the Rams game, we was on a route to get the number 1 seed at week 13. You know what I mean? So this dude is a problem. And Dak is, with all the weapons that you had last year and all the things that you got and the offensive line and all this and everybody wants to blame it on the defense and wants to blame it on Jason Garrett. Come on, man. We're not going to do that. Because when Carson Wentz mess up, everybody blames it on Carson Wentz. Your man got to take some responsibility. He was out there looking average last year. That's why he was 8-8.
Hey, the chat is coming out and saying that they think the Giants might overstep the Cowboys in that two-team race I talked about.
Uh-huh. Hey, there's something he said, too, that I just want to call out because it's incorrect. By the way, Dak Prescott did not throw for less interceptions than Carson Wentz. You're incorrect with that, sir. And by the way, just so you know, JJ Trilla, Carson Wentz has been 3 straight years with 10 or fewer. He's thrown less than double-digit INTs. Can you say that for Dak? You can't. 2 out of the past 3, he's thrown double-digit INTs. So, what's your point again?
He's the only quarterback in history to throw over 20 touchdowns in less than 7 or less interceptions.
Real talk, Perez.
The only quarterback in history. Come on, man. What we talking about here?
Bro.
Hey, real talk, Perez. If you're a Redskin fan, hey, man, good to see you. Good to have you out here, bro, because we don't get a whole lot of them.
Nah, he's a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. He's hyped. He's hyped with this whole.
He's real hyped. Yeah, he's real hyped, Dan.
He playing, right? That was just like he like.
I think so. He got to. He listen. He's too knowledgeable in sports in general to really think the Redskins are going to take the division.
I ain't see no LOL or no laughing my ass. I ain't see none of that. So I'm asking. You're playing, right? You got to be.
Hey, D'Angelo Adams, he said, y'all just don't know how bad it is with the Saints fans down here in Mississippi. Can't wait till they come. Listen, the funny thing is we play the Saints, but we play them at the link. And one of my dudes who checks these live streams out once in a while, he's a Saints fan. He's the only Saints fan that I know, but he's one of my guys. He's in my little circle. We fitting to go to that game, man. As long as it's December 14th. Or December 13th or 14th, one of them days. But as long as these games are able to access, I'm going to the Saints-Eagles game. I tell them, listen, they don't like to play outside, let alone in December. Drew Brees likes a tropical breeze, not a cold breeze. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Takeem Abdul Haq. I don't know how to say it, buddy. I apologize. I probably just completely butchered your name. I apologize for that. But I agree with your point here. The Redskins D-line is going to be a problem. 100% agree. They don't have the team around them yet. That's my opinion on them, is that the offensive side of the football, it's developing. It ain't there to compete with Philly yet, in my opinion.
Appreciate it, Drew. I agree.
Hey, Harlem Cowboys, how many rings does Dak have?
Oh, he said as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, he knows what Ron Rivera will bring. Yeah, I mean, coaching is important in the NFL, but I mean, they got a great D-line. But what else do they got? I mean, they got some problems they got to fix over there in Washington.
I think I don't believe in the quarterback. Tell you the truth, I really don't.
I don't know about their quarterback. I'm not going to say I do or don't believe in him. I just don't know enough about him yet because they didn't play him enough last year. You know what I mean? He just didn't get enough reps last year for me to really.
I'm from college also, though. Like I'm a Penn State fan, so I watched the kid in college. You know what I mean?
No bias here.
No,
that's like me trying to break down Clemson guys, man.
Nah, man. I can break him down. I can break him down without being biased. I mean, he's still a rival. You know what I mean? So.
Hey, there you go. He said, real talk, Wentz was Mahomes before Mahomes was Mahomes. Hey, yeah, that 2017 season, everybody was putting Carson as the next big thing. Just what the national media was doing. He got injured. He came back. You know, he had some rough spots, but hey,
Grandmaster 9, man. What's up, buddy? Hey, y'all, wish Grandmaster 9 a happy belated birthday, guys.
Grandmaster 9. Gotcha. Happy birthday.
Happy belated birthday.
And you know what's crazy about the Wentz and Mahomes situation? It's like Mahomes get to do a lot more because a lot of the defenders is down the field. Like everything is cluttered with Wentz, and that's a lot of the reason that he gets a lot of fumbles because it's a lot of guys. Even though he should throw the ball way more, you know what I mean. But it is a lot of guys more.
What's good, LJ? No, you're good. You good. Go. Keep going, man. I'm sorry.
It is a lot of guys that's more closer to the line because we don't got speed to take the defenders down the field. So that's why Mahomes get to do a lot more. I really don't think it's that much of a length that, like the throws that Wentz makes, a lot of people can't make. You know what I mean? Same thing with Mahomes. The arm talent is there. It's just that I feel as though Mahomes, ever since he stepped into the league, has way more talent than Carson Wentz.
Hey, real quick, Gay City, Cardboard Carolina. I know that's your brother. He's an Eagle fan, right?
Yeah.
All right. Just double check.
So, Jerry, not to put too much of information out there, bro. Jerry, that's my older brother, guys.
Okay.
Jerry, Cardboard Carolina. His name's Jerry. He actually, believe it or not, guys, when he was a kid, he got thrown from a Jeep. He was in a car accident, and when he was in the hospital, Reggie White actually signed I believe it was a jersey for him. So he's got an autographed Reggie White jersey.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Man, I mean,
under the circumstances, you don't want it to be that to be the circumstances to get that, but.
Oh, Bird Gang 114, my bad, buddy. Yeah, I'll get you a wrench, bud.
Real Talk Perez, appreciate the super chat. I really appreciate a channel where instead of just bashing someone's opinion, you guys try to see it and talk about it through the Real Talk Football. Yo, listen, that's the end of the day. So, when you first came at me a little bit, because I saw the video you made of me on the whole Cop Pizzle thing, I understand where you were coming from and how you talk. At least you said I know my football when you saw me on Lord Brunson's stream. But at the end of the day, it was like Cop Pizzle didn't come at me with football. He came at me talking about my channel being trash and me being dumb, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, we can keep it a buck about football. I'm cool with talking anything. At the end of the day, listen, you support your team. You're always going to be biased on your team. But as long as you come with facts about your team, you know, facts are facts. Opinions are opinions. Our opinions are going to be biased, but our facts are not biased. You know what I mean?
True.
Yep. What's good, Charles Smith? Appreciate the super chat, buddy.
Charles, what's going on, man?
My guy, Charles Smith in the building said, what up, what up, what up? Fly, Eagles, fly. Yeah, this is the first time he's ever been. He's on that Philly Fresh time.
I know.
No, yeah, he late.
Wait, I made it here before you, Charles. You better not say nothing now. I'm on your top. You on that CP time, boy.
Yeah, he Philly Fresh.
I don't know if I asked y'all. I know I asked y'all earlier, but I don't know if y'all heard me. Was Antonio Holmes in this chat?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's been in here. Yeah.
I'm trying to get up with him, man. He said he got my logo. I need that jump.
You don't
hey,
have
on the real talk, Perez. Hey, Mike's a good guy, man. He's got a lot of guys from a lot of fan bases that come and talk with him. Like, I think Mike does a really good job of trying to see it from, you know, he represents Philly, but he does, you know, he tries to be truthful in what he says. You know, he's not trying to just be an Eagles homer. He's trying to, you know, he tries to break it down and look at it from all perspectives.
Look, because at the end of the day, like I said, I look at, listen, I'm so heavy in the betting world of sports. I'm talking legit betting, straight up teams, point spreads, all that stuff, and fantasy that I make sure I know my information about every player, every team, you know? So I can tell you how much I hate a team, but guess what? I might pick the Dallas Cowboys a couple times for money betting purposes, but at the end of the day, if I lose money because the Dallas Cowboys lost, oh, I still get a happy sign from it. You know what I mean? But so yeah. I'm betting, I make a lot of money. Listen, at the end of the year, I have to pay taxes on my sports winnings. That's every year. That helps pays rent or mortgage.
Yeah, that's why you gonna talk this shit. But yeah. I mean, you can be a fan of your team. You know, you can go all out for your team and still be real. Like, let's keep it real. If Amari Cooper is, I think I picked last this year. If Amari Cooper is there to be picked in a draft, I'm going to draft him. Like, I'm not the type of person to be like, oh, they play for Dallas, they play for the Washington football team. I ain't pick. No, man. Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Hey, real quick, Real Talk Perez, let me know your thoughts on how you feel about your team. We know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been kind of, you know, on the bottom of the food chain for a while, but now we already know how your receivers are. That's why Jameis was able to throw 30-plus touchdowns, but also throw 30 interceptions. So with Godwin, Evans.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Keep going. Yeah, you got
Godwin, it. Evans, O.J. Howard, Bray, bringing Gronk back. Your running backs, Jones is pretty good. Getting the left tackles for Tom Brady. Your defensive line being pretty good how it was. How do you feel about your team, and what do you think they're realistically going to accomplish this year?
Hey, JJ Trilla, you said 7 of 8 games Dak lost were by one score, 100%. Okay, cool. Are we the only team that doesn't have a defense? No, but you are the only team that went out and signed Andy Dalton before handing your quarterback a contract. Just saying.
Hey, Andrew, good looking, man. Appreciate it.
My video glitched when Philly Mike said he might vote for the Cowboys, and glitched again when he said money. No, I don't never vote for the Cowboys. But listen, if I do a parlay and the Cowboys are playing a team like the last year Jets, even though they lost to the Jets last year, so I might not say that. If they're playing a team that they should beat, I'm going to put that in my parlay to win. The consolation, if I lose $1,000, I'm sad. But the consolation is I lost it because the Cowboys lost, so I'm still happy at the end of the day. I didn't win $1,000, but the Cowboys won. I didn't win, so it equals it out.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what do y'all think about the NFC? What do you guys think about the South? Do you guys honestly think Tampa Bay has a real shot to surpass New Orleans?
Listen, as I look at it, really, I think what Tom Brady's going to be working with is pretty talented around him. I think he got talented players around him. That rookie they got, that Scotty dude who's in the slot, he's going to use him like a Wes Welker or a Danny Amendola. I think they're talented, but I'm not sleeping on what the New Orleans Saints still bring. The New Orleans Saints still bring a very respectable, good team. Kamara was hurt last year.
Here's the thing, right? And I thought about this a whole lot. No, seriousness. I thought about Tom Brady. I thought about Tom Brady's career a whole lot. Everybody want to call the NFC East the NFC least. He's been in the AFC least for the longest. He really he has to go against. I know he doesn't play them on the field exactly at the same time, but he has to go against 3 other good quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Matt Ryan ain't no joke. Drew Brees still can play, and who else is in there? Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford, like, no, that's the North. I'm tripping. Who else? Who I'm missing? Is New Orleans? Who I'm missing? Y'all listening to me?
You see, y'all listening to me? Yeah.
I'm here asking y'all a question.
Yo, really fresh. Sorry. Sometimes I get up into the comments. I'm trying to do both. I'm the one. Go ahead. Say it again.
I'm just saying. Tom Brady been he been in a bad division just his whole career, and not only that, he probably got the most talent at the offensive position that he ever had. But is his arm good enough to get the ball down the field as much as these kids want to run? You know what I mean? I feel as though they're going to have to not dink and dunk, but he doesn't. His arm talent is going, man. You can see it. Like, now I ain't gonna say talent. His arm strength is going. You can see it. And to be in that division with 3 other good quarterbacks, and you don't get to face Miami twice no more. You don't get to face the Jets twice no more. You know what I mean? So I think it's still New Orleans' division to lose.
I hear you, and I agree with that. Listen, we're gonna see a lot of truth when it comes to who Tom Brady is as a solo act without Bill Belichick.
I agree.
We're gonna see how Bill Belichick is with keeping Stidham instead of getting Andy Dalton and or Cam Newton. We're gonna see a lot about who is the so-and-so GOAT. They're both GOATs, but who's more of a GOATer? I don't know how to say, but anyway,
who's the biggest GOAT? All right, Grandmaster 9.
Yeah, I wanted to get to that one. I'm trying to find it now.
It's 757.
But also right before that though, real talk. I'm looking forward to see how the defense works. But let's get to the other one. Where is it?
It's 757.
There we go. Sorry, guys.
All right, I'll go first, and I'll let these guys go behind me so that way they can give their thoughts on it too. But I see a lot of Darius Slayton and Terry McLaurin and Quez Watkins this game. I think Hightower has much more of a vertical element when it comes to contested catches, kind of high pointing the football, that kind of ordeal. I think he's much better in that regard when you compare him to Slayton and McLaurin. But I do think that Watkins, when you look at Slayton and McLaurin, what I thought they were really good at is you get them on that skinny post or you hit them on a slant. The way they can use that speed to just completely run past everyone in the secondary, I see that in Watkins. Watkins has that type of gear. Hightower's a little different to me. Hightower's game's slightly different to me in that regard. I see Hightower more as like the vertical stretch guy. What do you guys think, Mike?
I think Hightower is more of a do-it-all receiver. He can play multiple positions. He can do a lot of things. He can do the underneath stuff also by stretching the field. I think Quez Watkins is more of your big play, get deep, contested catches, do a lot of things that if his potential can reach where we expect it, he can way outperform a guy like Hightower. Hightower is more safe to me, and Quez Watkins has the more upside, but I see them as Hightower. He doesn't do any one thing perfect, but he has a lot of things in his repertoire to where Quez Watkins can be your big play X/move around kind of guy. Go ahead, Philly Fresh.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with both of y'all. Hightower, he really can do a lot more. You can put him in. You can put him in the slot. The route running is kind of the same, but I do feel as though Quez Watkins' upside is way better than Hightower's, man.
Yeah, I like Watkins' second gear, guys. Something about Watkins when he hits that second gear after the catch, man, his speed really pops off on film. Like
it does.
it really stands out on film. Hightower, Hightower, like gets so close to making these spectacular catches, but I am concerned about Hightower's hands at times. Sometimes his hands on film, like he misses plays where he makes these athletic, spectacular body position fighting things, but then he doesn't make the catch. It's frustrating, really frustrating with him. But you know what? We got a guy in here, in Aaron Moorhead, that's going to work with these guys. I see potential in both these guys, man. I think both of these kids have a chance to really be impactful football players a few years down the road.
Go ahead, Gay City.
D'Angelo, what's good, buddy? Thanks for the super chat, man. Quez has another gear. Have to see in person as I did. Yeah, man. Quez is that second gear, D'Angelo. I'm right there with you, bro. When he hits that second gear, man, he really separates from people on the field. Like, I'm not kidding you. There was one play I was watching him. I thought I looked away for a second and it was a different player. I was like, yo, that's no way that's Quez running down the field. And I had to go back and watch film on it again just because of how fast, man, once he got that little slant route, just how fast he separated. I was like, whoa.
Let me piggyback off that. I do also believe that I actually want to ask D'Angelo, where did you see him play? Did you go to what game did you go to? Did you actually see a game in college? That's what I wanted to ask. Charles Smith said, I believe Goodwin will make the team and stay away and stashed away to be the replacement for Djax.
What you mean by replacement? Next year or just if he get hurt? Or a lot of people saying when he get hurt?
I just think that he's saying that Goodwin's going to make the squad.
No. I agree with that, but I just wanted to know the Djax situation, right? What does he mean?
In case he gets hurt, I guess. Where does Greg Ward fit in this offense? He's proved himself last season, but he seems to be the forgotten man. Gate City is big on him because, again, how he separates in the slot, and I agree. Listen, again, we got all these speedsters. Yes, we did. Marquise Goodwin, fast. Quez Watkins, fast. Jalen Reagor, fast. Reagor's making a team. Marquise Goodwin and Quez Watkins, fast. Even Hightower's pretty fast with a 4.43, 4.44, something like that.
Yeah.
Ward is not that, but what Greg Ward gives you is a slot receiver who has chemistry with Carson Wentz, who's able to find the gap in the zone, who might not be the biggest guy, the fastest guy, the strongest guy, but he's shifty enough to get the separation, and he showed he can do it at that level. And yes, he was our number one receiver. He didn't play at the X position. He didn't play outside, but he still was our number one receiver because your number one receiver is the receiver you go to most often. And with him being that guy, he was able to perform. If we have Djax or Reagor or this guy and our tight ends, if he's a forgotten man to us, he's a forgotten man to the defensive game plan, and he can do much more than he did last year when he's not the guy that everybody got to pay attention to. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
expect him to come in and compete.
I'm huge on. Listen, guys, I like Greg Ward a lot, and I thought the kid proved what he needed to prove last year. Now, there's no guarantees because there's a lot of competition coming into this camp. I'll tell you this: I fully expect Greg Ward Jr. to beat out this competition and make this roster. He's not a fast guy, but he gets in and out of his breaks very cleanly. He understands and he's built that chemistry with Wentz, and there's something to be said about doing that. And you can't just have the track team out there, man. You got to have guys that can work across the middle in cooperation with a Dallas Goedert, a Zach Ertz. You know what I'm saying? You got to have those guys too. And I'm hoping JJ also takes a step forward, guys, but I'm not holding my breath because I don't want to suffocate. But, if JJ could take that next step and prove to be a true X-aligned receiver who can actually run NFL routes and gain separation and show us that he can make these contested catches, he would be a big addition to this offense. Because I'll tell you what, if you got guys that you can play ball control with, it makes those vertical guys that much better. It makes Quez Watkins that much better. It makes Rager that much better. It makes Djax that much better. It makes all these guys that much better, not better. That's the wrong way of saying it. It makes them that much more dangerous is a better way of saying that.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. I'm gonna comment on this real fast. I'm gonna get off for about 15 minutes. I gotta go eat. I finally get to eat, man. Get something to drink. But anyway, and it's kind of leading up with what Charles Smith is saying. I feel as though he has proven himself, and me and you disagree on things, but we really gonna disagree on. You said he was a good receiver surrounded by inferior talent, so he looked better. No, when you're surrounded by better talent, you're going to look better because people are not mostly focused on you. When you're not let's keep it real. In them last 4 games, he was the number 1 receiver.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's going to be the number 4 receiver, number 3 or 4 receiver this year. I don't feel as though he's forgotten, but I do feel as though it's a front office struggle with the coaches sometimes. Because Greg Ward should have been on that field over Matt Hollins, playing all them games and not getting no catches. Come on. So I just hope that doesn't happen again because of JJ. I think of Whiteside, if he doesn't be productive, I don't care where you draft him at. Sit his behind down and let somebody that is going to catch the darn ball and be productive on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be back, y'all.
No, yep. Just to go off what Philly Fresh said, I agree. Charles, listen, Greg Ward Jr. was a practice squad player, so he's never proven that he can make a team until he got a chance. Now he proved something to me. What he proved is he's shifty enough. He's not a guy who you can put on the outside. He's the Edelmans, the Danny Amendolas, the Wes Welkers. These guys are not guys who can play outside, but they have a different type of. I'm not saying he's them. Listen, he hasn't proven to be that type of. Wes Welker, really good. Edelman, really good.
That type of role. I know what you mean.
That's what I'm trying to say. But what I can say is, listen, the defensive game plan going into the last 3 games was the Eagles are going to pass it to their running back, their tight end, or Greg Ward Jr. So stop them. And so now when you got Djax going this way, Rager going this way, you Goddard, Ertz, and now you got Greg Ward as a lost part of this offense who can still get open, it's going to pay dividends. Real quick, Randy, hey, Philly Mike, who would you like to see the starting 2 wide receivers? I think this top 2 are going to be Rager and Jackson. So they're
Charles. Me personally, I'm sorry, Mike. Me personally, I would put Greg Ward as my 4th receiver. To be real with you, he's my 3rd or my 4th receiver on this roster. Now I'm going to say 4th receiver because Rager and J-Jaw, they're not going anywhere. They're going to make this team. I'm not a big fan of J.J. Arcega-Whiteside from what I saw in his film last year, but he's a 2nd-round pick, and he's only been in the league 1 year. Listen, he said that he's been beat up since college. He was beat up coming into the season. I think that he's exaggerating things a little bit because, let's be real, he didn't play a whole lot. There was a lot of weeks where he had a lot of time to rest, so I don't know. But with that said, I think you have to look at Djax is going to be on this team. Rager's going to be on this team. J-Jaw is going to be on this team. To me, the next guy that I would put on this team, and I don't get to make these decisions, Charles, you know that, but the next guy would absolutely be Greg Ward Jr. And then I would carry 6 receivers, and I'm taking the 2 young kids if I can. Now, if Goodwin just turns out to be so far head and shoulders above those 2 guys, Hightower and Watkins, then I would elevate Goodwin over one of those 2, and then I would keep the best out of those 2. But I fully anticipate that. I think you guys know who I said who my early 6 was. I already said it. My early 6 is simply put Djax, Rager, J-Jaw, Greg Ward Jr., Quez Watkins, and Hightower, John Hightower. Those are my 6. Now, I'm not saying Goodwin won't make this roster because these guys haven't put pads on. They haven't run routes. They haven't done anything yet. But that's where I think it's going. At the end of the day, Goodwin's been injured a whole lot. He does have a case of the drops himself, and he's older. We just don't have a lot of luck with these older veterans coming in underneath Doug Peterson and making any kind of like real impact in the wide receiver room. We just haven't had that much luck with them. I mean, the only guy I can really think to point to is Alshon Jeffrey, and that's not a very good marriage right now between the team and Alshon. So we really haven't had a lot of luck there. I mean, that's the way I view it, Charles, personally. What about you, Mike? What would you put your 6?
I'm with you on that whole thing when it comes to the 6. I'm with you. And like I said, Marquise Goodwin, can he be good? Yes. Will he be good? I don't know. I look at his career as a whole. He had a case of the Butterfingers everywhere he went, except for 2017 with San Fran. If you watch the 2017 highlights of Marquise Goodwin, the dude is being a complete receiver. He took that step where it's like, wow, he's not just fast. He's actually good. He's good. But then he got hurt, and we haven't seen it since. So he has as much to prove as some of these other guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. And King Poe, on your question, sir, this is what I'll say. In a perfect world, I would take the Djax, JJ, and Rager in the slot because that would mean JJ Arcega-Whiteside has proven to be a competent X-aligned receiver. That would be a huge, huge step forward. I'd probably say it would be more likely to be your first option. If I had to bet, I would probably say you're more likely to see Djax, Rager, and Ward.
Jalen Williams, again, I understand. Listen, he hasn't proved that he's that. What he proved to me is that when the defense was able to focus more on the tight ends and Greg Ward Jr., he was still able to get open. He didn't have huge games, but the games he will have better games when he's a third option. He was our slot receiver last year was one of our top 2 options. It was either go to the tight ends or go to Greg Ward.
Mm-hmm.
When you have an offense that is running the ball more and or throwing to the outside more, stretching the field, Greg Ward Jr. most likely can perform better than he did last year. And so I agree. At the end of the day, I have no favorites. The best man in camp or the best man to the coaching staff should get the job. Simple and plain. If that's Greg Ward Jr., if that's J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, if that's Hightower or Watkins, I don't care. I want the Eagles to put the best players on the field, as they should.
Yeah. Hey, Jalen, I know you know football, man, because I talk with you all the time. But you and I both know, man, like, yeah, he got called up almost past the halfway point of the football year. He got called up. I believe his first game was the Seattle game where he honestly contributed. When you really look at him, you're talking week 12 into that playoff game. That's a sample size. But of course I'm projecting, Jalen. You know that as well as I am. I'm projecting what I think he could be because the sample size is still small. You know that. I know that. But I thought I saw enough on film, Jalen, to feel secure that this kid runs good routes. He gains separation. And over the course of that small sample size, he seemed to really build honest chemistry with Carson Wentz. It looked like they were clicking, and man, that combination was really working. So I think the kid's going to definitely make it, not because he should be guaranteed a spot. I just think he's going to beat the other kids. I think he's that good. I think he's going to beat them out. He's not a deep threat. You're right. He's limited. There's only so much that he can do. But what he can do is a sure-handed conversion guy.
I hear you. And like I said, listen, if you caught my lives, I do lives by myself, and I also do lives every Saturday with Philly Fresh and Gate City Sports Channel. And we always try to keep the chat in tune. Sometimes when one of us, if it's either Philly Fresh or Gate City or even me are talking, we can't interrupt. So we try to not do that, but we put them all on the screen so we know that we can see them. And at the end of the day, it's hard whenever there's a dual stream, it's hard. It's really hard for two people because when I do a stream and I'm done with my topic, all I do is read your comments and and talk with you guys. But it's hard when there's 2 and 3 people. But listen, we do these lives for 2 reasons: to talk Eagle sports ourselves and to hear your takes. A live stream is for you guys to say your piece, and that's why I love it. And I love hearing what you guys got to say. And at the end of the day, some of your takes are better than ours. Like, at the end of the day, we're all fans. We're behind the camera, but you guys should definitely be heard. And so I appreciate you guys.
Thomas Jones, man, we appreciate that, buddy. Snapback Jug, thank you, man. We really appreciate the support, guys. 813. 813. I can see you looking like, where?
Yeah, I'm looking.
They're both 813.
They're talking about the chat, right?
Yeah.
That's what brought me onto that conversation. Yeah, he said great show, and I put these on there. Great, I already put them on the screen. Great show, and man, I love the show. You guys put the effort in for the chat family. Always, at the end of the day, if we want to just talk and read your comments later, we make a regular video. We do live chats because it's about you guys. Y'all the real MVPs when it comes to live chats. You know what I mean? And exactly. But when Gate City's talking, I can't interrupt when I'm, so it's harder to really get all the questions. So like we said, if you really feel some type of way about a question, send it again. We're going to get to it. And there's times where I just leave a question on the screen and we pass through it because, just the way the talking's going. Yeah. We appreciate it.
Marcus DJAF. Dude, come on, man. All we did was exchange 6th-round picks. He's 29. He's got a very serious injury history to him. And he does drop the ball a lot. He has issues with dropping wide open passes. I don't think Godwin is anywhere near a lock to make this roster.
Bashir said, I think we're going to have Rager, Djax, Hightower, Watkins, J-Jaw, and Ward. Y'all keep making she's talking about the Cowboys people. Love the vids and like this vid. Oh, appreciate it. Like, at the end of the day, whatever channel you're watching on, do us a favor. If you haven't liked that video, hit that X button on the live chat, hit that like button, come back in and chill out for a little bit more. I know Gate City, and I both said we got to do some stuff around 8:30ish. So I don't know how much longer Gate City got to do this stream. I also got some stuff I got to take care of. So, we normally do them 4-hour bangers. We might have to rock out with like a 2-hour and 30-minute joint tonight.
Marcus, I understand what you're saying, buddy. But keep in mind, after we had already acquired him, we still decided to dip back in again in the 6th round and take Quez Watkins. It's not exactly a vote of confidence either. We still decided to keep adding, even though that we went out and got Hightower, went and made this trade, swapping 6th-round picks, and then turned around with the swapping of the 6th-round picks to then take Quez Watkins. So, just saying, man, I don't think that kid's a lock. Look, if he earns it, he earns it. I'm telling you, he's 29. You're not going to expose kids that could be a part of your organization's future for the next 4 or 5 years for a 1-year gap filler player who's got a lot of injuries if he's not head, not just beating them, but I mean straight up head and shoulders above them. Jalen said he just noticed he was behind like 5 minutes.
That's crazy. But listen, real quick, for whoever's wants to know about this, I am going to do a giveaway. It's going to be a Jalen Reagor jersey. I'm not sure exactly when I do it. When I'm going to do it, it's going to be in the next couple weeks or so. And what I want to do is just make sure you have that notification bell on so you catch a video, because in one of my videos, I'm going to say at the end, this is what you got to do. It's probably going to just be comment #Eagles. Whoever comments it, might be a lot of comments, it might not. I'm going to write the name down, put it in a bucket, shake it up on the live stream. Make sure the live stream is so y'all don't think I'm cheating. I'm going to pull it out, and whoever's name I read gets the Jalen Reagor jersey. As simple as that. But I appreciate you guys. Like I said, you guys tune in, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to get 2 of them though. I'm gonna get one for me, and whoever wins the game.
It's gonna be Gate City.
Yeah, it's all like they're all like it's all like Gate City Sports Channel. They're all like, no, show me all the names. Show me all the names. There's a bunch of Gate Cities in there.
King Poe. We go to his comment at 8:19. Sorry, man. Sorry we missed it, bud.
I got you. I'm gonna get that. But hey, appreciate the super chat, Brian Fuller, man. You the oldest and the realest. Appreciate you.
Sorry about that, buddy. We didn't mean to miss your chat, guys. We try to catch them if we can, guys.
Yeah.
And I see the one, guys. I see the one where you guys are asking about the quarterback play. Just give me a minute, guys. I'm gonna get to that one too. Gate City Sports. I asked this question earlier, but y'all didn't get to it. Isn't there a way we can keep 2 players from the practice squad on the roster without having to send them back down for 2 weeks? So I'm not sure what the length of time is where you can elevate practice squad players, but I'm not too sure it's a week thing. I thought that you could move in and out of the practice squad to your active roster twice without having to subject them to waivers, I thought was the deal. But I'd have to look into the length of time you can keep them on your roster. To be honest, King Poe, I don't know that off the top of my head right now. I'd have to really look that up what the length of time is. But I know you can move them from the practice squad to the active roster, I believe, twice without exposing them to actual waivers.
Vic 3 with the super chat. Appreciate it. Other than the receiver position, what other positions do you see heavy competition for a roster spot? Appreciate you guys.
Strong and free safety.
Yes. I was going to say that because now you got, again, Ronnie McLeod, the veteran safety there. You bring Jalen Mills, who played safety in college, but hasn't played it in the NFL. You put him over there. You sign a guy like Will Parks, who can play the nickel, but also play safety. Then you bring in a dog in Kevon Wallace. So you got 4 safeties who are going to show during practice that this is why we should start. I do think the way Jim Schwartz plays defense and has 3 safety looks, Kevon Wallace and or Will Parks will be on the field with Mills and McLeod, but that whole group is definitely going to be a competition. Good call, Gay City. I was going to say that. You just stole it right from me.
I would definitely, same thing. Strong safety, free safety, I think there's going to be heavy competition. Also, corner starting opposite. So, I won't steal because Mike went pretty in-depth there. Corner starting opposite of Slay. So I think you're going to see a really good competition there between, guys like Sidney Jones. Of course they came in and brought Nickel Roby-Coleman to play the slot because they wanted to then take Avonte Maddox and move him out there to compete with Sidney. Then you got Trevor Williams. I always want to mess his name up. Trevor Williams, who was signed here on a futures contract to also come in to possibly compete. So I can definitely see that spot having a lot of competition as well. Care, don't pull his wrench yet, Care. He's always in here commenting and like he actively contributes.
He just posts them like in a row sometimes.
Yeah, Kevin, I saw it, man. We got you, buddy. It takes us time to get around to them all, bud. All right. Will Nate Sudfeld get traded now with Kyle Luletta competing for a roster spot in preseason? I don't think Kyle Luletta is I don't think it's the key piece. If you want to trade Nate Sudfeld, I think it's because I'm going to be honest with you. I like Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts has talent. But I'm going to tell you right now, Nate Sudfeld is further ahead as a quarterback. You trade Nate Sudfeld because you drafted Jalen Hurts and he's going to be the long-term piece at the backup quarterback. Why subject him to preseason games and training camp where it can become quite obvious that Nate Sudfeld is miles ahead in the development? Just avoid that situation, trade Nate Sudfeld or release him, cut him, and roll with Jalen Hurts as your backup. I think that would make more sense to me. I don't think that's what the Eagles are going to do. I think Nate Sudfeld is your backup this year. Jalen Hurts is going to be your third quarterback and kind of a gadget player who will be the future second-string quarterback here. But if I was the front office and I made that move, I would avoid this entire conversation by getting rid of Nate Sudfeld now because it's going to make you look bad if Nate Sudfeld comes out. Because, look, Nate Sudfeld, he got injured, and that sucked. But I'm going to tell you right now, when you watch what he was doing before that injury, guys, what he did, part of the year last year, I thought Nate Sudfeld was developing with his downfield passing. Nate Sudfeld does have a very good arm, guys. I thought he was seeing the field a lot better. He's a bit of a stand in the pocket guy. He's not going to move the pocket. He's got limitations in that regards. But Jalen Hurts, for all the good that I see from Jalen Hurts, because I do think this kid has real talent and has a real possibility to be something decent, I think Jalen Hurts needs more time to develop in the pocket as a passer. His mechanics are not great, guys. They're not. I'm telling you, as someone who watches a lot of quarterback film, who has spent a year or two coaching quarterbacks myself, look, his footwork is not pretty. His arm angle is all jacked up, guys. And I'm going to show you something that you see a lot of young quarterbacks do that do not have proper mechanics. When you come up, so when you're coming from your carriage to the shelf, guys, your arm should be at basically just like this, like a 90-degree angle, guys. What you don't want is your arm like this. When your arm's like this, it means you have poor mechanics and you're trying to throw with everything you have to get the ball downfield. The problem with someone who throws like that is that it actually causes you to throw a lot of lame ducks and to be really inaccurate. Because what happens is your power actually comes from your hips and your shoulder. That's where the power on that ball is coming from. A lot of young quarterbacks do this, guys. This is not something that's going to damn his career. He will learn the proper footwork. He'll learn the proper how to take that ball from the ball carriage to the shelf. He does have a tendency to go down and then come up with his arm. That's how you get stripped in the pocket, things like that. Like, he's got a little ways to go. But, me personally, I would move Nate Sudfeld and begin working with as much time as I could get with Jalen Hurts. I would work with him. Because if you're the third quarterback, you're not getting that many reps. That's the problem. That's what I would do. What about you, Mike?
What about Nate Sudfeld? Because I kind of went downstairs in the middle of it.
Yeah, so what we're talking about is thank you, Charles Smith. I appreciate you, bro. We're talking about is, he was talking about Kyle Lauletta, the relationship between Kyle Lauletta and then Nate Sudfeld. And I said, honestly, I would move Nate Sudfeld, not because of Kyle Lauletta, because I think Nate Sudfeld's way further ahead of Kyle Lauletta too. But I would move him because he's going to make Jalen Hurts' pick look really bad when you get in the training camp and when you get into the preseason. And it's not fair because a young kid like Hurts has a lot of development to go. It doesn't mean that he can't be good. It just means his mechanics are really flawed right now. Mm-hmm. And Nate Sudfeld's going to really make it obvious. I mean, Carson's already going to make it obvious, but we expect Carson to be head and shoulders above a rookie. But which I don't, the thing I'm saying is you don't want to create the dynamic to where Nate Sudfeld really makes the fan base go, what was Howie thinking? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I also, like I said, man, I mean, third quarterbacks don't take a lot of reps. They just don't. So how much growth are you going to get from them? You know what I mean?
Correct.
I personally would move them. I don't think the Eagles are. I think the Eagles are going to take Nate Sudfeld will be the backup, in my opinion. But if I was the Eagles, I think you have a better shot at moving Nate Sudfeld and bringing in a veteran and justifying it. Vic 3, it's not that I disagree with you. But it's also where the motion is occurring. Okay? I agree that Phillip Rivers has a sidearm kind of release to his throws at times, but it's relative to the body positioning and where it's coming out. And also, Phillip Rivers has much cleaner tape from college compared to what Jalen Hurts threw out there from college. Jalen Hurts did pretty well in the underneath stuff. And when Jalen Hurts got his feet and got his throwing motion under him, it was pretty. When he didn't have it, it was bad. Very, very bad. He also has a tendency to bounce too much.
Real quick, Brian Fuller, Mike, do you think Jalen Hurts will play this year? I think he's going to actually come in on Taysom Hill type plays. I don't think he was drafted to do that, but now that narrative is out there, Eagles got to do it. I think he's going to play that way. The only other way he plays is if Carson goes down, which I'm a firm believer that Carson proved he can stay healthy 16 games. Freak accident, cheap shot, although I'll still take him. Cheap shot by Clowney, and he was out. So we have to wait and see. It's all wait and see type kind of answer. I mean, look, the Jalen Hurts pick to me still was like, really? But now that he's a Philadelphia Eagle, I'm going to root for him. And if we score a lot of touchdowns on these Taysom Hill, trick plays, 2 quarterback sets, I'm cool. I'm all about the W, like Carson Wentz said. But I gotta see it. I'm just very interested to see how it's going to really work. Because again, like Gate City said before, who do you take off the field? Do you take Miles Sanders off to put him on? Do you take Dallas Goedert off to put him on? Do you take Zach Ertz off to put him on? Do you take a receiver off to put? Who are you taking off the field to put a guy who is very athletic, but never played running back, receiver, tight end, and all this stuff? And again, if you check on the NFL, I don't know what, maybe not the website, but Steve Mariucci did an interview to Jalen Hurts, and he said they were doing this whiteboard, try to read defenses and stuff, and he was impressed by his quarterback knowledge. But he asked him, would you consider playing for a team as a running back or a receiver? He said, no, I'm a quarterback. He said, nothing? No, I'm a quarterback. He said, nothing at all? No, I'm a quarterback. He looked him dead in the face and said 3 times, he is only a quarterback. He ain't playing receiver. He ain't doing this. Now, a month later, the Eagles draft him as a possibility to play Taysom Hill role. Well, I mean, he's going to get paid, so he might change his mind. Yeah. But he said many times, I'm a quarterback. I know teams are thinking about receiver, running back stuff, but no. So let's see how he does it now.
Yeah, hey, Jalen Williams, I love your thought process, because that's where my thought process was too, man. No, not that. Where he's talking about he would bring McCown back at 826. But the reason I like getting a veteran quarterback and bringing them back is it's an extra coach that's in that locker room to help Hurts out. Because at some point, you know what I'm saying? At some point, the kid's got to be your backup at some point. I don't think this kid is ever going to be the talent Wentz is. I don't think he's that type of player. But I do think that this kid has actual talent. He just needs to learn a lot about the fundamentals of the game. His throwing motion is very flawed. And guys, I know we're naming Phillip Rivers, but name one more. That's the problem. Most of these guys that have very flawed throwing motions. Hey, look, Aaron Rodgers had a flawed one. Aaron Rodgers was a way up here holder when he first came in the league. They fixed it, and he became one of the best natural throwers of the football. But you just don't get a lot of guys. You have to fix those things normally. Phillip Rivers is a freak, guys. And I'm not just saying that because he's so much better than Duke, Charles Smith. He's an NC State, guys, if you don't know that about Phillip Rivers. But, yeah, I mean, I like the idea of bringing a vet in here to work with Jalen Hurts, work in the room, and you got somebody that if everything goes down, you're hoping only a game or two can win you a game or two. But I'll be real with you. I don't think Jalen Hurts is ready to supersede any veteran in this league. But if you lost your quarterback for half the season or the whole year, God forbid, I think you play the young kid at that point. You got to find out. You got to give the kid reps. You got to give him a chance, find out what you have. But if you're talking about a game or two to keep your season alive, probably not handing the ball to the young kid. I'd probably much rather put it in the hands of a veteran. What would you do there in that situation? This is the worst case situation, guys. I don't personally, before we go into this avenue, I don't anticipate this happening. I think Wentz is going to be fine.
Correct.
But
I agree with you that Nate Sudfeld is probably more NFL ready, but because I have to make sure that my pick has sustainability, has some I told you so in front of it, I got to put Jalen Hurts in. Listen, I agree with you when you say that Nate Sudfeld can read defenses better and he's just possibly a better passing quarterback. And we don't know what Jalen Hurts can do for a team, leading a team. He has that leadership characteristic, but his on-the-field play. But I will say, to make sure your pick had some weight, I think Howie and the coaching staff put out Jalen Hurts if Wentz goes down.
Yeah. I agree. And that's the thing is that I feel bad for the kid because where they took him, there will be pressure on this kid for his entire career. If he was a 4th round pick, I don't think the expectations would be the same. You know what I mean? I know some people say, hey, man, like if it helps, imagine Kayvon Wallace was your 2nd round pick, Jalen Hurts was your 4th round pick. Cool, except for that's not what happened. And I feel bad for the kid because there is a lot of, there's a lot of issues there.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, let me hit the super chat. And then I got to go down.
And this dude here, Charles, killing me, bro. Killing me.
Wait, Danny said, this is non-Eagles related, but who do you think will have the best career between Burrow, Tua, Herbert, and Love? I'm going to say I am a big fan of Tua. And so I know Burrow did a lot of good things at LSU, but I'm going to come out there and say I like Tua. What about you?
I'm going to shock you guys. I know it's controversy. I don't think he's ready this year. If I'm projecting talent, it's Jordan Love. I would go Jordan Love.
Career-wise.
It ain't going to be this year. Probably wouldn't even be next year. I'm just saying. I don't know if he's right, but you know what? I do have questions about Green Bay's coaching staff and what's going on there, but that organization, generally speaking, finally gets itself together. And I do believe in Jordan Love's talent. I think it has to be developed. There's a lot that has to be developed there, but some guys they have it, man. And when you put a better team around him, when he had the better team around him, he popped. He popped on film to me. He wasn't great last year at Utah State, but I think that didn't they lose their coaching? They lost a bunch of players. Like, it was pretty bad, man. They went through some rapid changes there. All right, Gate City. Oh, did you see who was on 94 WIP Thursday? It was Coach K, the Billy Goat. All right, this is what I'll say about Coach K, Charles. Can't disrespect Coach K because Coach K, in my opinion, really earned his stripes with NC State fans when he became really close to Jimmy V at the end of Jimmy V's life. And Jimmy V is what brought me to NC State. Jim Valvano. Why we have the Jimmy V Classic, guys. I'm not that old, guys. I should probably phrase that better. That's what put NC State on my radar as a kid, was Jimmy V. I got to give Coach K his props because he came in, I believe he came in the league the same exact year that Jimmy V did. He went to Duke. Same year Jimmy V went to NC State. Guy built an amazing program at Duke. I can't take it away from him. I still don't like Duke, man. I can't do it, man. Can't do it. Just don't like Duke, man. Nothing wrong with Durham. I love Durham. Great restaurants. I hate Duke. All right. Jalen, Love is in the best situation. I think he's potentially in the best situation. I agree. Potentially. Andrew, Hurts is a plucky kid. He has been discounted, his entire career, yet he always seems to rise to the occasion. I love that. Andrew, I love his personality. I love the way that the kid has the chip on his shoulder, but at the same time, I mean, I have to be real about what I see on tape. And if we're talking about guys that were winners their whole career, so was Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore out-achieved what Jalen Hurts did in college. Didn't make Kellen Moore necessarily a great starting quarterback, although he's a great football mind. I really like the kid's fight. I love the fact that when Mariucci pressed him, I love the fact that Jalen Hurts stuck to his gun and said, nah, man, I want to be a quarterback. I respect that about the kid. Because if he answered that any other way, I would have lost confidence in him. If he said, I'll do what's best for the team, if that had been his go-to, and he did kind of get around to that, but if that would have been his first instinct to go to, I wouldn't have felt right about it. I'm glad that he did kind of stand up and say, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man, I'm a quarterback. Yeah. And like, he said it like 3 or 4 times. He was very clear.
So with him saying that, you know dang well when he got that phone call for the Philadelphia Eagles, knowing they got $100 million man over there, he has to feel some type of way. Now, again, he signs a contract in the second round. That money isn't lovely. So he's going to do the role he's asked. But I want to see if that comes back into play. What if we get the fact that – what if we come out and it's like week 4 already and we have not seen one Jalen Hurts, Taysom Hill play?
Mm-hmm.
You know? But Antonio said, 49ers fan here. Good luck, Eagles. Hey, appreciate you just jumping in here, tuning in. And I got nothing against the 49ers until we play each other.
Kevin Cronin. Every year seems a stretch to me, but I understand the concept of what he's trying to do. If you ever strike gold in the 5th or 6th round with a quarterback, you can flip that into multiple picks, man. Or you can have an effective guy that doesn't cost your organization crap. And that's the beauty of it. It's hard to evaluate quarterbacks in the 5th or 6th round, man. What makes a quarterback good? The reads that they miss, it's fractions of seconds, guys. It's like the pace of this game and the way it's played, guys. It's so minute. These guys in any other setting are so ridiculously good at what they do that the guys that we think are not that great, in reality, there's a reason why backup quarterbacks can still become phenomenal coaches, phenomenal offensive minds. They might have been a split second too late on their reads, but they understand the concepts.
Correct.
They do really well.
Jalen Williams, what is your prediction for Dallas Goedert? Projection. Sorry.
I think he's going to have a breakout year.
How, though? Listen, let me ask you this, though. We play a lot of 12-man personnel last year, and I liked it. We had our best pass catchers on the field. Now, I see us doing some 4 wide receiver sets, some 5 some shotguns, 5 receiver set, no running back, all that stuff that teams do when they have wide receivers. We can do some of it. I still believe we will do 12-man personnel. But if we go from 75% 12-man personnel to 45 or 50%, who gets off the field? Dallas Goedert is not going to play before Zach Ertz. So it's rough.
I think Dallas Goedert is going to take Zach Ertz helmet, throw that shit in the stands, and run out on the field. I'm joking. No, man. I agree with what you're saying, which is he's the person who would likely have his snap count reduced as a result of us running more 11-man in 2-back sets. Well, so 11-man and like 21, 22, 23-man personnel guys. But I will say this: even though his snap count will be reduced because we've added more weapons to the field, and because he's been in the league now, this will be his 3rd year. I just feel like he's going to make the most of those opportunities. He's going to be the guy that I think you kind of have to just put a player on him and hope for the best. And it's probably a linebacker, possibly a safety. And I think he could eat big this year. I think he might be the guy that really benefits from some of this.
Hey, Donald Bynum, he said, I'm broke. I was trying to get a super chat, but my funds are at 0 at the moment. Listen, bro, we appreciate you just tuning in on either Gate City Sports Channel or whoever's channel you're on. I believe you're on his. We appreciate it. And so I got a question for you now. When you look at when you look at what we did in the offseason and you look at the schedule, where do you feel the Eagles are going to fit in? What's win-loss projection? And or if you don't like to predict this early, how do you feel about this team going in? Let me know in the chat. He said, heck, Belichick hit the lottery in 2000 and rode Brady for 20 years and 6 Super Bowls. Hey, we're about to find out. We're about to find out if it's Brady or Belichick or Brady.
Andrew, I kind of agree. Not that Belichick's not a great coach. He's a great coach, but be real. I don't think he wins that many Super Bowls without him.
Correct. And no matter what you think about who is the GOAT, Tom Brady fell to him at the 6th round. He was a backup. Like, that's luck. Hey, Vic 3 has a comment for you.
Hey, Donald, I'm sorry, man. I was trying to find it, buddy. I can't find your comment, man.
No, but
all right, Vic 3, Gate City. That take you have on Love is up there with the Ruggs trade. Look, I'm not saying it'll be this year. I'm not saying it'll even be next year. What I saw in film from the kid. Look, Joe Burrow's a good quarterback, guys. I'm not taking anything away from Joe Burrow. I just don't think that he's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he's in the best situation right now. I think they added T. Higgins, didn't they, Cincinnati?
Yes.
I think they added T. Higgins. I love the T. Higgins pick for them. I think it's a good fit with Joe Burrow, but it's just the rest of the team around him. It's the way that front office in Cincinnati, because they're another one of those teams where the owner acts as the GM, and it's muddy. They cheated the first 3. Probably right. But you know what I'm saying? It's the situation that Burrow's in. I like Tua. Listen, guys, I think it's a pretty good quarterback draft this year. I think Tua's going to be good. I think Burrow's going to be good. And I think Love's going to be good. I think Herbert has a lot of potential. But I think Herbert is the most likely to also be a big disappointment. There are things on his film, man, that just made me cringe, to be honest. There were things on his film, guys, that I couldn't help but to like shake my head in frustration and go, why? Why are you placing the ball there? Gate City Sports. Thoughts on signing Carlos Hyde? Carlos Hyde, how old is Carlos Hyde, man? Good contact balance back. But then again, I mean, we got guys that are well in their 30s now still playing that role pretty well. So Carlos Hyde is 29. Yeah, he's getting up there. Limited role. In a limited role, I'd be okay with it. Not a guy that I would ideally want taking the majority of handoffs if something were to happen to Miles Sanders. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Limited role, playing a contact balance back, short yardage, goal line situations. If the money's right. That's the other aspect is how much money. Sure. As a guy that might have to potentially step in and fill in for Miles Sanders for a couple of games or something, I'd be a little more concerned.
Makes sense. He said, real quick, let's get to the couple of these. Which undrafted prospect will make the Eagles roster? Hey, if anybody has a chance, it might be the hype that Killen's getting as like a all-around contributor and special teams, running back, receiving, all that stuff. But Charles Smith coming out with the fire, right up, straight up. Clowney or Griffin? If you had to pick, knowing everything you know, the money is not – we don't know the money situation, which is actually important. But Gate City, call it as you see it. Clowney or Griffin to the Eagles? Who?
Well, I mean, the Eagles are already in contract talks with Clowney, so I think Clowney's where the betting money would be right now. If you're asking me who I would prefer – on a one-year sample size, I'd probably take Griffin's production, even though he's a little wacky in the head. I mean, the dude's produced. But if we're talking a 1 year, that's if we're talking 1 year. If we're talking about the potential to be here for 3 or 4 years on a 1 year deal where maybe the two sides get together following the season or during the season and work out something a little more long-term, then I would probably want Clowney. Does that make sense?
Yeah. What up? Waste Media Production said, can you find my comment, please? Where was that?
He commented on mine, but I don't see another comment. Waste, you just messing with me, bro? So I really don't see another comment.
I'm going back. Oh, I found it. It's way back here. I got it. Maybe put Hurts in the red zone with Deshaun Jackson. Wait, maybe put Hurts in the red zone when D-Jack is not effective. What do you think? Yeah, well, look, at the end of the day, we don't have that big body X receiver to get that goal line, fade. Although Rager, with his 42-inch vertical, I see in his highlights and in his play, he has that fade route down. We also got guys like Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert who are big body receivers, tight ends, but when they run routes, they're receiver to me, who can score in the red zone. But Jalen Hurts, if it's just say it's second and five on the 5-yard line. We're 5 yards to the touchdown. You put Jalen Hurts in a zone with the RPO option to either hand it to the running back and or run it himself. That's a deadly move, especially with his athleticism. But we're gonna have to wait and see how it goes. What do you think about it?
I like where you're going with it. Yeah, I mean, I think there's some point to what you're saying there. Absolutely. My question is, wouldn't we be better suited, though, maybe to keep – I don't know. It depends because who are we taking off? Wouldn't it be better suited to play 12-man, though? Goddard, Ertz, have a guy like JJ, and then have a guy like Rager in the red zone? I guess it depends where we are in the red zone. That makes sense? If you're talking about a goal line situation, maybe. But I don't know, man. I mean – goal line situation, maybe. I mean, I could see some utility in the way you're trying to use them. I can definitely see that, but I think it just depends on where we're defining the red zone, like where in the red zone we are.
Correct. So what I want to say is this, though. When we talk about taking a skill player off for Jalen Hurts, I'm also saying I'm not 100% for it because I think you should keep Wentz on the field. But listen, if you take Wentz off the field in this situation, you have Jalen Hurts under center with running backs in the backfield. You can be in a 12-man personnel. You can have J.D. Arcega-Whiteside, all the big body type contested catchers on the field. But the thing is, the 5-yard run is still available to him. So he can hike the ball and run for 5 yards on a design run and or throw the ball. It's an element that you won't see from Wentz because he can do it, but we're not going to risk him in that situation after everything that's happened in his career. So I think you got that Cam Newton design run ability with a chance to throw to a big body guy like Goddard, Ertz, Whiteside, or Sanders. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying take a skill player off. I'm saying at that point, take Wentz off in a short goal, 3rd and 3, you know. Jalen Hurts might get you that TD. Hey, I'm just trying to talk positive about him because he's on the Eagles. But let's get to Donald Bynum real quick. He said, I think we are going to be the greatest show on grass. Miles Sanders is like Marshall Faulk, speed wide receivers, great offensive line, big arm, quarterback, but better 2 tight ends and defense. Hey, I'm with it.
Charles, good point. So Charles sent a super chat in. Why would you take the top red zone quarterback off? I would try to find a package where he's still on. I don't think you take him out because I think if you're going to put Hurts in there, he's got to play as your running back in that situation, or he's got to play as like an H-back type or a tight end type. Maybe even a receiver. You're not going to I wouldn't put him under center personally because I agree. I agree.
At the end of the day,
one of the best red zone quarterbacks in the league off the field.
Correct. Again, he is the best red zone quarterback in the game. I agree 100% with you. But once you get to that, again, you're you're on the 7-yard line, a pass is still viable. Even on the 3-yard line, a pass is viable. But once you get down to that 3-yard line, 2-yard line, just run the ball in. So however you got to run the ball in. Something we don't do enough. We do too much play action plays and passes on the 3-yard line, like run the ball in. But I agree. Carson Wentz is like 72 and something in the red zone. It's a monster. I can never say statistic, so sorry, but a monster stat. So I agree with you, Charles. But real quick, let's give this real quick.
Yeah, do it this way, Mike. Look, you have to pretend like you got glasses on. Statistic.
Yeah, I just can never say that word off GP. But anyways, Brian Fuller. Said his son is watching. What is going on, Maverick? Appreciate you tuning in. You're probably only 4 years old. I think you were the 4-year-old he mentioned. I'm not sure, but however old you are, Maverick, appreciate you watching. Go Eagles. Grow up to be the best Eagle fan you could be.
What's up, Maverick? Jalen Williams comment. 850. I think it was a good one.
Dang, that's deep. All right.
Yeah, it is, but it's a good comment. I'll let you take this one, Mike.
If we bring back Peters, who is the odd man out of the young guys on the O-line and can keep them on the practice squad? I mean,
we probably should start by naming who we put on the squad.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, because you got a guy like Malata, or however you ever say his name. He hasn't been able to make the team, so he's already like a casualty. Am I right or am I wrong?
I think he could be. I mean, let's just start left or right. Left tackle Dillard, left guard Silmalu, at your center and Kelsey, right guard Brooks, right tackle you got Lane Johnson. There's your 5. Mm-hmm. Now we're talking about another 4, maybe 5, probably 3 to 5 players that you would have left, depending on how you want to build your roster. I can tell you one backup right now. Matt Pryor will be the backup. That's 6. Where do you go after Pryor?
It's rough. It's really rough because of the fact that
you got 2 rookies.
Yeah, but it's really hard projecting offensive line keepings, if I could say, because of the fact that these rookies, you would think at least one of them makes a team. But again, like, where is the development of Mulata, that Jordan Mulata guy? Like, where is he at? Like, we haven't heard much. He hasn't been a name who's been able to be a steady backup. We don't know. And it's like Matt Pryor is really your only guy who can come in and contribute and you feel comfortable. We don't know about the other guys yet.
Do you want me to read you off some of the candidates?
Go ahead. Are you looking it up? I see.
Casey Tucker. He came in last year. We cut him during the cutdowns, and we brought him back again this year. So there's some interest in the kid, but clearly we're thinking developmental. Okay. We said Isaac Suomalu. Sorry, guys, I'm waiting for it to catch up as I scroll. So you got Sua Peta. You got Keegan Render.
Yeah, I don't know about these guys like that.
You got Jordan Mulata. You got Luke Jorgi. I don't know how you say that kid's name. Some undrafted rookie free agent out of Western Michigan. He's a center guard, right? You got Nate Herbig, who's a center guard type. The Eagles were high on him.
So, but
you got Julian Good Jones, undrafted rookie free agent out of Iowa State.
But who out of these guys do you know their style of play? Do you feel comfortable assessing them as they could be the backup role? Do you?
So, Jordan Mulata was supposed to be the swing tackle. That's what the envisionment was for this kid. Now, do I feel that I would put him there? I would say you got 6 guys we named. I think just judging from who's available, Jack Driscoll, who's like a swing kind of like guard center type guy. Jack Driscoll could possibly make the team. And I think you got to stay with the young guys. I think you go to King with our Prince. Prince Tega Wanuga. I have no clue how to say that young man's name. I'm really butchering this young man's name, and I'm so sorry if his family is watching this. But the young man out of Auburn. I think those 2 guys probably have a legitimate shot at making it. That's 8. Would you put Jordan Mulata on this team, or would you just sign a guy like Peters and say Peters is your 9th and roll with it?
It's rough. Again, is Peter okay to be that dude anymore in his career?
I don't think so. I think you could probably get Mulata through to the practice squad.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, but I mean, he's been developing for so long. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. Like, when you really look at it, we need a veteran tackle in here. I think the 2 young kids are going to make it. I think the guy who would get left out is Sua Peta has a real shot. I think he could be on, one of those guys that's fighting for a position, Sua Peta. And then the other kid, the young kid we kept on the practice, we brought him up onto the active roster for a long time. So Nate Herbig. Nate Herbig could be an odd man out. I think those 2 are the 2 guys that are fighting with the 2 young kids to really stay on this roster and not get bounced down to the practice squad. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, it's really rough. Again, we are a team that is very good with finding late round gems or undrafted free agent gems at the offensive line position via Jason Peters and Kelsey. Yeah, go out the room. All that stuff. But it is tough. But real quick, let me get to my man's hot take real quick. Stephen LeBron said John Hightower will have at least 400 yards and 3 touchdowns as a rookie. I like it.
That would be a lot of production.
That's production.
Yeah, he'd be producing for what it looks like he would be. Doug will pull out the John Madden playbook with Hurts at quarterback and 3 running backs in the backfield, Sanders, Clement, Killings. Yeah, but the thing is look at how many guys you put in there. Who are you taking off the field? And at what points the defenses really understand exactly what you're doing and just play up on that? Put 8 or 9 in the box on you. Because you're clearly not going to throw out of that type of formation.
Yeah. I like Prince a lot. I think he will jump Dillard If he makes the team, not saying this year though. Wow, that's a hot take and a half. Let me see that.
Philly fan D.
What are you doing?
That's funny, man.
Hold up,
That's
hold
funny.
up.
Oh, okay.
Look, this is my the Fly Eagles Fly thing, and it says back up. It says divisional round, January 13, 2018. This is the Atlanta game. I told you I went to the Eagles. Sorry, I went to the Eagles versus Falcons playoff game, and as we all remember, as Eagle fans, we smacked the Vikings, and we had a very great offensive game when it comes to the Super Bowl against the Tom Brady Patriots. But that Falcons game was defense. It was cold. It was sloppy. And it came down to Jalen Mills shutting down Julio Jones in the end zone. I had the biggest headache and the best time of my life. It was crazy.
Yeah. Hey, Vic, there's no way Matt Pryor is the odd man out, man. Matt Pryor is likely our starting right guard in week 1 because Brandon Brooks is injured. I mean, it's going to depend if Brandon Brooks can get back from his injury in time. But, I mean, there's a real chance he's going to be your starting right guard in week 1.
Steven said,
Andy,
what did he say?
I agree with what Steven was saying, by the way. But if you want to put it back up real quick.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's put that back up. But now I'm going to get to this Philly fan D. He's right.
They've invested 3 years in Mulata. Too much. 100%. Herbert is backup center. Herbert is, but the thing is that the Eagles, to me, seem to envision Suamalu as the future center. I think they just like the flexibility that Herbert gives them at center and guard. I think if you can get it, Peters, to come in and play left guard for a year, so that way you can take a guy like, Suamalu and get him behind Kelsey for a year, learning the in and outs of playing center. So that way when Kelsey retires, you're ready to go. And then you got Suamalu to come in and play all the guard positions if something were to happen. I just think, yeah, man, like what Philly fan D was saying, man, after this conversation, it's a little tricky when you look at the offensive line situation.
Yeah. For anybody who wasn't thinking about bringing back Peters, he might not need to be a starter, but just get some depth on this line. But he said, "Oh, come on now, we ain't about to do that. We ain't about to do all that."
Charles Smith, funny, bro.
Yeah. I hope Quez Watkins or John Hightower don't become Mac Hollins 2.0 and only want to play special teams. I don't think it's
gonna happen. Yeah.
I don't think there's ever going to be a receiver who makes the NFL and legitly says, I don't want to play wide receiver. I want to play special teams. Like, what?
Brian, I appreciate you, buddy.
He said Jalen Mills will be great at safety and Sidney Jones will outplay Maddox. Nice hot take. I'm with it, though. I heard you three. I'm just not going to bring it up. You know what I mean? Something light. He said you keep 10 to me. Peters, Dillard, Tega, Isaac, Pryor, Jack, Nate, Herbert, Brooks, Lance, and Kelsey. A lot of
Joe's trying to keep everybody. Joe's trying to keep offensive linemen like I try to keep receivers. Brian, a lot, man. We appreciate you, buddy.
Oh, no, yeah, it's all love. Listen, at the end of the day, this is why we do these live streams together because, again, we came up the same time. Look, I found Gate City when he had like 53 subscribers, and he found me when I had like 53 or 60. We were right there. We were like 10 subscribers apart, and we found each other. He commented on mine, and I commented back to him, and he did not tell me he had a channel, but for some reason, I clicked on his logo, and I said, oh, snap. It was, me and him came up the same time, same with Philly Fresh, and we all mess with each other. And again, me and Laura Brunson talk to each other, me and Philly 500. There might be more collabs in the future, but we've been doing this for a long time, and we keep these Saturday shows every Saturday for the last, 5 or 6 Saturdays?
It's been a lot. Yeah.
So it's all love. It's all love.
Oh, he's asking about Brandon Brooks. So Brandon Brooks suffered like some kind of weird, wasn't it a shoulder? He got injured in the Giants game.
Yeah, but it was
He got injured in the Giants game, guys. I don't know exactly what it was. I don't know how long. Listen, guys, I don't know how long he's going to be out for. He may be completely ready by the time the start of the season comes around, but there's a remote possibility that he won't be ready. So we got to be a little careful with how we treat this offensive line. To me, I would definitely keep Matt Pryor because Matt Pryor was moving people when he was in games. I liked what I saw from Matt Pryor last year a lot. So he separated his shoulder. Eagles has landed.
Yeah. Randy Jones coming in after the 3-hour mark. What is
What's
going
good,
on?
Randy? What's good, buddy? How you doing, man? Will Alshon be ready week 1? King Poe, I don't think so. He suffered a pretty serious injury that Liz Frank where he got it. It's the same exact thing that happened to Jalen Mills. I don't think we will see. I think the earliest you would see Alshon's going to be mid-October, and it could be later than that.
Word. Yeah, I don't see him coming until the middle of the season, and it is what it is. I think we're going to be able to get his trade value up by bringing him back, playing him, and then we make our real move, either releasing him or trading him in 2021. But guys, what happened if Nelson Aguilar is good for the Oakland Raiders? I'm just saying Oakland because it sounds better than Las Vegas.
I agree. Sexy Vegan, I agree, bro.
I haven't got used to calling them the Vegas Raiders. It's going to be rough.
To answer your question, it's possible, man. It's all about the role. I never thought Aguilar was bad. I thought he was bad if he became your number one option. Like, if he's there to play a role, he's pretty good at playing that role. I thought Nelson Aguilar, for all the things with his can't catch hands, he gained separation. The kid was a really good route runner. And be honest with you, there were games where I will admit he made a couple spectacular catches, but then he dropped some of the most basic over-the-shoulder catches. I still can't tell you how he misjudged the body positioning and couldn't contort his body the correct way to get the ball. Like, I don't know, man. That guy's frustrating. But long story short, guys, yeah, I think it's possible he could have a good season. It's all about the role he has to play, in my opinion. But, if Oakland starts suffering injuries, who knows?
I agree. Ron says no pressure on the Raiders for Aguilar. Correct. This is what I thought really ruined Aguilar. The fact that we put him on the outside more than the slot. The fact that we had him be the number 1 instead of number 3 because of injury. The fact that once he started dropping balls and we got in his mindset by just ripping him anew, we really hurt his feelings. Like, dude deleted his Instagram. You don't delete your Instagram as a
you can't do that
unless you feel some type of way. So you don't do all this stuff in Vegas or Oakland, however you want to call the Raiders.
Yeah, it makes you look soft if you do that.
You play him in the slot, he might be all right. Brooks' second year in a row going through rehab. That's not good. Yeah. But the one crazy thing is he tore his Achilles or his ACL last year or the year before coming into this last year. And surprisingly, the dude played very good after rehabbing this whole time. So hopefully that plays.
Steven Shaka. This might make you feel old, man, because I know this isn't that old of a player. But my guy here, Mike Quick, he was roommates in college with one of my former employers. And because, I played football and, me being this huge football guy that I am, I actually got a chance to actually sit down and meet him for like over an hour. And I got an autograph from him and everything. So that's probably what I would consider to be one of the older. I mean, I've had small interaction with the guys like Jaworski and those guys, but that's like the most extensive, meet and greet I've ever had with a player that would be a little older coming out of that generation. And he was only in the 80s. He wasn't that old. But how about you, Mike?
The oldest player I ever met?
Yeah.
I met David Akers. So that's about, man, again, I don't go too deep. And first of all, I don't go too deep in old players / I also ain't old enough myself to be meeting older guys. Well, I could have met a guy later in his career. So, but yeah, David Akers.
Yeah, Mike Quick was a nice guy, guys. He was really, really nice. Nice guy. Gave me a little bit of advice. I followed his advice. And you know what that advice was? Man, you really know the game. Don't play it. You're going to get killed. Don't play it at the college level. You're going to get killed.
Well, with all this,
Brooks, he's our best lineman.
I just want to say that, appreciate everybody tuning in. Before we do dip out of here, make sure if you haven't hit that like button and you're still in here from the start or just came in 10 minutes ago, that whoever's channel you're watching on, you smash that like button. We appreciate you guys 100%. And that's why we do this, to talk to you guys. But I don't know about you, Gay City, but we definitely missed your 8:30, 9 o'clock time to bounce up out of here.
Yeah, just by a couple minutes, but we're good though. All right, y'all. Guys, we appreciate you guys coming in here, man. You guys always come in on Saturdays. We love having you guys here, man. We have fun every time. I mean, this is one of the days of the week I really look forward to, guys. I really do.
Yep. And because, again, we're on the camera, but we appreciate how you feel about the Eagles, your opinions, your takes. Some of these go deep. Like, there's times that I get off a live stream, and after you guys talked, I think about some of the things you said, and I use them in my videos, not as your exact words, but you might say something about a player that gets me thinking about the offense in a way that it just started flowing. I'm like, and I use it. I might not exactly come out and say this is the exact thing, but it's like we talk about a player so much, like Greg Ward Jr. We talked a lot about Greg Ward Jr. Is he the guy? Is he not the guy? So now, I start looking at him. I might watch some more tape on him and then bring out something about that. So we appreciate you guys 1,000%.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. We appreciate y'all, man. Hey, you know what time it is? We got to do our little sign-offs here. We got to go EAPLES. Let's go, Eagles.
And you know what time it is. We out.
Chip Kelly's vegan.